What up? It's your boy R to the EK to the S, Rhythmatic Eternal King Supreme. They call me Rex. Shout out to Van Styles and Tash having me out here on that Dookie Chain. You know what it is. Deuces!
Big Dookie Chain, myself, Van Styles, Tash to the left of me, Hush behind the boards, and the illustrious, we have grand guests in the place to be very excited about this. REKS, longtime friend and person I've looked up to as an artist. Queen Philosophical.
That is I.
And I don't know, I just want to get into it. You have a lot coming up.
Yeah, man, you have a lot going on.
33 projects you're saying you're going to drop in 2024. Cat's out the bag. There we go.
That's what we're doing, yeah. Like, I hope it's a record or something.
Why that number, though?
Mastery, you know, like,
okay.
Getting to that place where we remain students, like in everything that we do, but also we get to a point where we've kind of mastered self, like became a higher version of self, and feel like we have so much to give off. And I think quite similar to Andre 3000 in the way that he's saying that he doesn't have so much to say. I think it's similar, but just on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have so much to give, like right now in this moment. I think it's kind of the same kind of parallel though. Like I think it's just the opposite. Like,
is there a reason right now specifically you're feeling so much inspiration? Is it inspiration?
I think it's the time. I think it's the times we in right now. I think there's a paradigm shift in like the way the world is right now. Like you have this real focus on like demon time. Like and I'm being serious about it. Like that's a serious focus. And for a long period of time when I was so ego driven, I think a lot of like my mind frame was like engulfed by that. And I think like finding my new foundation allows me to be able to be in a space where like I have, you know, a knowledge base and a relatable base, but at the same time, like people are gonna be able to take from what I'm, you know, growing in front of your eyes with, and be down for the cause.
Jesus, what just happened?
Thank you to the ancestors.
That's the ancestors talking.
Damn, son.
That's what
that's never happened, and nothing has ever come off that shelf in this room. You made an impression.
So that right there, these are the actual wire cutters that we used to use to break into my boy that passed away.
The cords right there.
Yeah, we used to use these to break into the spots.
Nobody even moved
to do that. Yeah, why would you move? It's all good. You safe in there?
No, I'm saying nobody moved for that to come down. That was supernatural.
It's just part of the supernatural. Yeah. So 33 is a lot though. So why the number 33 instead of like 22 or 11?
Listen,
33 is mastery.
Supposed to be 50.
33 is mastery, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think it's very important to like make it that. And like there's like, you know, there's talk about second childhoods, but I think there's a continuation of childhoods. And like 33 is a number that in sacred geometry and in science and math and spirituality that has like a profound effect on the human nature and human psyche, and there are going to be a lot of people who if they speak the language that we speak, when you get knowledge of self, like, and I don't mean knowledge of self as a 5%er, like I'm not a 5%er, I'm like a comedic spiritualist, like more than anything.
Comedic spiritualist?
Yeah. Comedic spiritualists. I study the Metuneta daily, like the hieroglyphics. Like I study consistently from elders in spirit and elders who are here. And my mind frame is in a space where, you know, remaining a student is imperative. But knowing when you've got to a space where you can speak to people from a higher space because you're a reflection of something higher, like is profound in its mastery. And I think I am there.
When did so this sounds like a lot of spirituality you guys are practicing.
A lot of it is, yeah.
When did that was a shift? That wasn't always there, right?
Yeah, I think it was there. I
mean, it was there, but you weren't harnessing it.
I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't really tapped into it. Like I always think, like I think it's in every single one of us. Like, you know, we all have it. But we don't really remember from the moment where like we're split from the umbilical cord. We are tapped into these partitions and divides that exist in human nature, right? So we start to be affected and we lose sight of what
Get
we
distracted.
our childish tendencies keep us closer to that true nature of who we are.
The comfort.
Yeah.
Oh, that the beginner's mind they talk about in Buddhist meditation, or the
Absolutely.
child's mind, or whatever.
In a lot of Eastern
Exactly.
philosophy, I think, or the uncarved block in Taoism, you know, that once that block is carved, it becomes affected by the divided world, like
And
the world
ages of stages.
that
You know,
yeah.
What should people be reading? I feel like you read a lot.
everything.
If you had to pick 5 books,
Can you bring that mic a little closer to yourself, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
I mean, people I think people should just read.
Mhm,
I
period.
don't know if like people should you should just delve into like what works for you.
Yeah.
what are your favorites? Do you have a couple favorites off the top that you'd say?
I personally, do you want? I mean, I
He
think
reads. He's like my human audiobook one, because when everything that he reads is out loud, and I'll have audiobook because reading it is. A lot of people will use the excuse it's not for me, and I was that person, so I utilize audiobooks. Now I'm learning to buy the books to pay attention to it, you know, because he has put me on to reading everything. So like he'll read what is it, Civilization of Barbarism,
That's a big one. Yeah, she
Jekyll
knows.
Island. He'll go,
That's good.
he's reading Mein Kampf to me.
Okay.
He'll read every book from Dr. Mawat Ashby, basically,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
with the book of the living, you know, the dead.
so. The Pertim Heru.
Pertim,
The Pertim
yeah.
Heru is like what she's talking about, like what's called like the Egyptian book of the dead, but it's
Okay.
not really like the real translation would be like the book of coming forth by day,
That's
or like
exactly,
the
'cause
book
I'm
of
still
enlightenment, or
learning.
the book of coming. No, you said it right. That's right where it is. The book of coming to light. It's like Heru is the light. That's one important one.
Heru is known as in Greek mythology is known as oh my gosh, I forgot the name.
Horus.
Horus.
Don't fall.
There you go.
You
Horus.
You guys are a good
ISIS.
team.
Yeah,
ISIS
yeah,
is
yeah.
set, you know, ISIS is set. So we're
Yep.
learning.
Osiris Assad. Yeah. So like a lot of the nature of Kemetic language, obviously when certain individuals came in, like conquerors came in from Greek lands or Roman lands, like, you know, transitioned into like some of the mythology and other areas. So so
What were
I
you
read-
getting from Mein Kampf? I'm curious.
I get the
I mean, there's a lot to
same
get
thing-
from it, but
same thing I get from studying Donald Trump. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
So like I was having a conversation.
No, I don't mean it as a bad thing.
I
Just
don't-
like
I know,
interesting.
I don't
Yeah.
take it. I don't take it personal
Yeah.
at all. Like I think it's very important to study. Like so first and foremost, I'm big on studying oppressor language. I think it's very important to like not only study like what we want to be like. I think when we get to a point where we can ward off negative energy and we're in a space where we want to be true with self, then it's okay to like to delve in and tap in to the language of something that you don't truly understand or understand. Like you probably will never be there, but you can understand it. Like you want to be in a space where you see where somebody's at, because if you studied the book, then you would know where he was from the beginning, and then a lot of things could have been avoidable.
Right.
You know,
What were
if
the
you
seeds
knew
of
where
discontent?
when you know where somebody's language is at, you knew where somebody existed, and it was going to happen the way it was going to happen regardless, because that's where the emotions of the people were at a period in time. So I mean, I think like that's a big one. That's not a big one that I study like focus on. Like Wealth of Nations is a big one.
The nations.
And Common Sense by Thomas Paine is a big one for me, because those like kind of like developed the democratic and like the state of existence for like the United States, and the
politics is
foundations
today,
of what the founding
Yeah.
fathers were all about.
Let me like ask you. So I'm getting off a lot of philosophy, a lot of knowledge, knowledge of self and stuff off the couch. In hip hop's current state, like the state of music, doesn't seem like it's there. How important do you feel like conveying that message through your music?
I think it's there. I think the
is.
lens isn't there. The lens isn't on it. I think it exists. There's a lot of it. It exists. Immortal Technique is profoundly about like that. You know, he's built his entire career and foundation on this language. He's a activist, and like he's literally active in locations and doing things, and like I've known Immortal Technique forever. When he was doing this, he's way ahead of me in the terms of being active in the community.
Is that your next step?
Yes, absolutely. The objective, like the reason why we transitioned to Georgia, the reason why we've done things like in being focused on land grabbing and being about going to homesteader conferences and going to retreats and being away from the community that we come from, so we can be more tapped into what we were missing. Now
you said Georgia, so you did send a lot of promotional material over. It was a lot to take in a little bit amount of time.
I apologize,
but we did see. I believe the video was called what? Bust down?
Bus shots.
Bus shots.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you were looking for?
Yeah, we was in Georgia. Yeah, that's in Georgia, and that's like the language we're talking. Like, you know, it's like, you know, the dual like in this partition, like there's the dual state of like how we think about things, and like you want to be a Buddha with a rifle. That's real. Like, you know, like being on your like peaceful mind frame and wanting to, you know, be profoundly about peace, but knowing that like you live in an existence that doesn't like allow that to always be the case.
You got to be a warrior.
Well, that's the whole thing about a dangerous man, is like someone who can be violent but chooses not to be.
Yeah,
you know, that kind
but
of
like
stuff.
I was always outspokenly like aggressive in nature because that's not who I because of my traumas though.
Oh yeah,
because of my traumas and not truly overstanding my traumas. And so I was childish in my outward display because I wasn't comfortable in my skin, not knowing where my spirit truly lied and why I wanted to be, where I was really powerful.
How did that transition start? Like
bumping into walls on my own. Because
was there an actual like day? Was there a last straw?
Many days, like many
as you must know.
Yeah, she knows all of it. And so do like the individuals who's traveled with me on tour, the individuals who had to wake up with me the day after. You know, like so like my wife now is a profound teacher for me. And she slowed a lot of the anxiety and the hurt and the like the inability to be vulnerable and like the inability to be true with self, because like that true self that I had to look at, I wasn't yet comfortable with. So she slowed a lot of that down. And
well, what did you see in him to want to do that?
I mean, talent, you know, this man has so much love to give. He's a big bear, you know. Bears are misunderstood, you know. It literally just that. You have the choice to be at peace or you have the choice to be at war. And he was not around, well, I felt, you know, it wasn't a choice of mine. It was something that it was just brought up to the attention that you don't have that right support. You know, it's not that you don't have the right people, you just don't have that right support. And growing up in similar environments, when he met me, I had already like stepped out of that. So I'm like, shoot.
Well, women mature mentally faster than men.
Yes and no, because listen, that's another show. Listen, it's partnership, you know. You see love and compassion in an individual that you're like, you have so much talent, so much skills, like you have to keep going. Yes, don't stop, but take a break for yourself for a moment, because you're not recognizing what you're really doing that's affecting your community. You have people that love you. You have people that ride with you, but you're not recognizing that they are there with you, but they're not there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't have to mention names. It's not something that you have to mention. It's something that you as an individual that does want to grow, it's up to you to wake up your eyes and see who really is rocking with me.
We're almost in the same boat. Like 2 years now.
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah. That's pretty. It's pretty dope. I mean, because
2 years sober for anybody watching.
Yeah, 2 years sober.
Of alcohol.
We've all, I mean, just straight
was
up,
a big part
we've all
too.
known each other for like a long time, and the truth of the matter is, I don't think the three of us have ever been in the same place when at least all three of us weren't drunk. You know what I'm saying?
Inebriated, just like sober.
Not even drunk.
This
Like,
is a wild
like,
vibe.
Just beyond.
yeah, like,
It wasn't like where one of us wasn't drunk, like where we all
All
were
were.
completely
Yeah,
blitzed.
Right.
I can just imagine that night.
yeah. So I mean, it's come a long way. Do you feel like your art has gotten better because of it?
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I think it's been. It's always been. Like I think the talent has always been there, but like the focus on narrative has not been so like on point. Like I think my thoughts were racy and chaotic, and to some people that might be like a good, like depending upon where you are in your space and
Right,
time.
you were
That's the great version.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, I want to hear that version of Rex.
You were Ari Cocaine.
Yeah.
Right? From Gray Hairs
great
album.
Great way to say
Well,
it.
Gray,
That's exactly
Gray
what it
Hairs
was.
is one of my favorite album titles.
No, but that is one of the best albums I've ever heard in my life,
ever.
and hands down the best album to ever come out of Massachusetts.
And every
Oh,
time,
wow.
like, because I mean,
Wow.
Absolutely.
it's all great
Without a
now.
doubt.
But every time I think about Gray Hairs, like, I think about your album.
Yeah.
Why did you pick that name so early?
I know.
Because
Now we're like,
you know,
damn.
in hindsight, thinking about 50 years of hip hop, I really was thinking about like where we were growing,
always
how we
ten
were
steps
growing
ahead,
together.
this man.
Like
Yeah.
I just
different.
I don't know if it was that. I wouldn't say it's that. I do think that it was. And thank you. I didn't mean to. You know, I think it's more that like, you know, we were growing with hip hop, and like it's such an infant and novice like genre of music and brand new, and it's about youth. And I've always not been a doomsday theorist, but like been focused on like where we're headed.
Yes, he is. Ask him what type of movies he watches.
Out for the longest period of time, like that's really
Apocalypse
what it
Now.
was. Yeah,
What'd you
all
think of the
that.
Julia Roberts movie?
Which one?
The one that just came out with the end, with like the end of tomorrow. Like, what was it?
He hasn't watched that.
I haven't watched
see
it, but I'm definitely gonna watch it.
'Cause
It has to do
it's
with
all
like,
that. Yeah,
like
it's all that.
like all the like waters rising
I
and
hate
anything.
people or
anything.
fuck people or something like. It's called something like that. I
Oh,
hate
now I'm
people.
gonna-
yeah,
now I'm
it's
gonna
something
watch
like
it.
that.
I
It's all about the
definitely-
apocalypse.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Like this is what I mean. Like, you know, I've always been on this like looking like towards that, like what's about to come. And I think that's what I was doing with hip hop, showing us age a certain way and just being like, you know, where's the career trajectory going, like for myself specifically.
During that time, like Gray Hairs, is that the first time that you really started to get like the recognition and started to get it all moving? I mean, you had some pretty big producers on that album, I think, right? Wasn't that
I
Premier?
think honestly, along came
Premier
the
was
Cho-
on that one, right?
Yeah. For real, it was a profoundly like impactful period. But I think Along Came the Chosen really, I had a lot of attention on me, and I dropped the ball continuously because I was like brand new. I was like wet behind the ears, and I listened to nobody.
Well, the album still wasn't it nominated for like album of the year?
Yeah, the album was like in all the magazines.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, I
Gray
was on
Hairs,
Yeah,
right?
it was
Billboard.
actually Gray Hairs.
No,
yeah.
you mean Gray Hairs? I'm talking about Along Came the Chosen.
And I remember being in Emerson College before WERS and undergroundhiphop.com and seeing like people had the Along Came the Chosen, like the red stickers
Yeah, it was
up on the
Along
on
Came the
their
Chosen
doors
was, like,
or
really-
dormitory
Yeah.
doors.
Yeah.
And that was definitely ego phase where I'm like, yo, like I
I'm the
was
greatest.
always exactly. I was always
the
so
greatest.
caught
I'm
up
the
in this
greatest.
Yeah.
idea of being kingly and godly.
Well,
like,
even the acronym that is your name.
exactly.
Yes.
Was
all
it, is
of this was
rhythmic?
Rhythmatic Eternal King Supreme.
Yeah,
So I was
there we go.
fixated on this conceptualized idea of how great I was.
When you listen to your old music, does it make you cringe?
No. I mean, I know it's just a
No.
place and time
Yeah.
that I was, and it's a valuable piece of like learning about who I am and continuously growing. I don't.
Yeah, these
I
albums.
know I make mistakes. I regret. I regret a
hold on,
lot.
hold on.
I regret a.
What do you mean by when you say these albums?
Yeah.
You start laughing and just
Oh my-
rubbing your face. What do you mean by that?
Because the hours that he spent into it, and it was just like the fact that he even had to cut it down the way he even wanted to, not even making all of them albums. You know,
You're talking about the 3 EPs that are coming out February 16th.
not just this one.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm talking about there was originally 50.
Okay.
Oh Jesus!
It was original. I was like,
For
you know what?
50 years of hip hop.
He It wasn't even that.
Okay.
It wasn't even a thought of it because we didn't like it. Just come on, nobody knew there was going to be a celebration of 50 years of hip hop.
No.
If you think about it,
Yeah.
sporadically it came. So
For reference, too,
this man is beyond.
he dropped 3 songs today, 3 videos today.
Yeah, 3 videos. Like when I've been like my objective has been dropping 3 at a time, and like people are like, yo, slow down, don't do that. And like I've kind of always
He's
been
been
like not
everywhere.
attempted
Well,
to do it.
for the press release, we got like the run and everything, and you kind of sent some stuff over so we could check it out. And like, we're like, what is?
Where do you start?
Yeah, we're like, okay, so wait, you came out with the rather unique album, which is what I thought you came out with today or yesterday.
Oh no.
No, sir.
Okay, so Chris Ferrone just posted about that, so I thought that was the album, but no, then you sent like 3 more over.
That was last year.
and then 3 more
That
over.
was last
So
month.
imagine.
And then,
Or
yeah, but
last
hold
month?
on. And then we
Yeah.
go to the internet, and Hush is like, all right, let's look up the videos. And he's like, wait a minute, he dropped 3 more today. I'm like, are those the ones that he just gave us? He's like, no. I'm like, all right. I'm like, so
imagine
give us
the
a little map of what's
process.
going on here.
There's really no rhyme or reason.
No rhyme.
We're coloring outside of the lines, and we're not
Literally.
following the mold and code, bro.
Well,
Like,
all these things take time to do. I mean,
I
you must
know.
have backup on. How long have you been working on this stuff?
I have backup, but at the same time, the videos know. Like we're working.
is
Like we
literally-
literally just got back from shooting in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
about to go to London. We're gonna we're traveling and we're bought in
Yeah.
and like in betting on self.
I love
and,
it.
like investing in the idea of the REKS brand in the way that thank you, my queen.
No, I love it too. Like that, as he talks and as he's animated, she's doing you can see it, right?
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
doing all it's funny the facial expressions that are going along with what you're saying because she obviously knows you so well.
Oh,
It's that-
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
she hypes with me on tour. Like
Oh, for real?
that's my hype man. Like so like
He
people get
has
amped up
been
on
doing-
tour.
So you're a split star.
Yes.
Pretty much.
You're
Are
Flavor
you-
Flav.
The Flavor
Are you as
Yeah.
good?
She's
I'm the
also
Flavor Flav.
She's
literally.
also we call her Steven
Steven
Spielberg because she like starting to do all the video stuff. Like she do Steven.
so we saw some
Spielberg
of that. Was
that-
and
that was
Spike
you, right?
Lee,
That
Spike
was
Lee, yeah,
I.
that, yeah.
I apologize because bringing up Flavor Flav made me think of the clock, and then I just realized we didn't anoint either of you
yeah.
with the Big Dookie Chain.
Oh wow! Look,
Yeah.
Who's gonna rock the Dookie Chain?
I'll
gotta
rock
be
it.
you.
I'll rock it. I'll rock
Well,
it.
we got one for you as well.
Thank you.
yeah, she
hold up.
definitely got the fly. Awesome.
There we go. Now all is well in the world of the Big Dookie Chain.
officially
Now we talk.
So-
That's what,
What when did you start getting involved like in a big way with this music? Like what even is your like role? I'm sure it's everything,
Look,
but kind of
no,
give us a
people-
rundown.
Okay, yeah, just say that because like I get that question asked every time,
I bet.
and because I've been around the music industry for so long that I've seen every aspect from working with high names of mastering engineer levels to working with just seeing the inspiration of so much talent around me when I moved from New York to Massachusetts.
Right, because what's your background? We're gonna have to get it quick.
LES. That's all. Just say less. LES. Lower East Side Manhattan.
Okay.
And 3rd Street Avenue D.
That's where you're from?
Originally, yes.
Oh wow.
And then came
Congratulations.
to Haverhill. Originally, I met Term. Shout out to T. That's my best friend. I love that kid. And then meeting him, I went to school with Easy Money. So is all a trade. And T used to always tell me, "Yo, you gotta listen to my man REKS. You gotta listen to my man REKS." And I'm like, I heard him once, and I was like, "Nah, he sounds too loud." And seriously, and he was always like, "No, you gotta listen to REKS. You gotta listen to REKS." And finally, I just started listening, and we built a relationship that wasn't even supposed to be that type of relationship. We built a friendship first, and we got to know each other like really deeply. And I'm like, damn, dude, like I have so many hidden talents. Let's bring it like that. Because I don't even know how to begin or talk about it. But long story short, I am an animated person, period. I'm just animated. I can't draw freehand, but I can animate visually. I can help direct. I can help guide because I do guided meditation and I do yoga and nutrition. On top of I do spoken words. I used to rap. So understanding the industry in general, why wouldn't I apply that to my man? And it hurts me when I see these other women who think that they're the wives of individuals who are great and they take advantage of them. I'm like, I want to punch the old me wants to punch each one of them in the face. Be like, respect yourself more and respect your partner If they weren't who they were, I get it why you would, you know, mistreat them. But it's important to have, you know, that partner with you, to know that you got to be that one with them. Because then I'd be taking advantage of them. Like, who am I to just go on these tours and meet with these legends? I'm around, like, Shabam Sadiq. We were around Shabam Sadiq the other day, and it's like, you know, just random people will show up, and it's like, that was dreams. You know, Grand Poobah pulled up, like, meeting.
Oh, wow.
Like,
never met him. Well,
Come on,
everybody. I mean,
Talib
how many people?
Who else? Who performed with us? For you, we brought him out to that event for the youth. Talib Kweli.
Talib.
Yeah. So it's like, come on, man. I'm not gonna sit there and be powdering my face or like selfie moment. Like, it's not. It could be that. 'Cause
Maybe
you
one
gotta
quick
take
selfie
picture-
with Talib.
No, you do.
Yeah,
I
I know.
would, and I have, but it's not about that.
Right.
You know, it's like, wow, this is basking in that moment, and to be able to create more for your partner. You know, not just be like take. You gotta give. Because ladies, let me tell y'all, the pussy don't mean much. Can we cuss? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Late in the game for that.
Yeah, that was quite the entrance. The pussy don't mean much. Can we cuss?
Can we cuss?
Do it.
You good?
But it's true, because come on, guys, think about it. If by now that's why I say it's a whole conversation about females. You know, we don't check each other enough, and same thing with guys. Guys don't check each other enough to be like, yo, my man, you out of pocket. And it's the same thing with women. Like, girl, if somebody touches you because you not dressed right now, I'ma fuck you up after they finish fucking you up. Because I done told you, respect yourself. It's okay to look beautiful. It's okay to look sexy. Do it. Because you look even if you like in a freaking Punjabi, guys are still going to look at you. Men are men, you know. If they like you, they will approach you. And the same thing with, you know, vice versa. Women will approach men.
How do you think? So when you go back to the pussy the pussy comment, well, no, I think it's interesting because like, not that like I don't want to ego driven or something like that, but you have accomplished a lot, and you do have a lot going on.
Yes.
So like in that kind of atmosphere, like you do actually. I mean, I believe like the team is super important.
It's absolutely
like it's beyond like important than what people even realize. Like the team, like the husband, wife, the man, female, like team in that aspect. Like especially when you're in the entertainment industry and stuff, for someone that gives a fuck about Corey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Doesn't give a shit about REKS. Like,
and
that's
he doesn't
a side
have
note.
to do that. Come on, he's his own hype man. Hello, you've seen his shows.
Nah,
you've seen
but
how
like,
animated
it
he
changed
is.
the game. I think the trajectory changed.
I was going to ask you.
When
Do you
you-
think it got better when she got
Oh,
involved?
absolutely, profoundly.
He's gonna
better.
say that.
I'm no.
It's
This
scary,
is
I'll tell you
this
that
is
much.
this is what I'm gonna say. Like, I don't have to just say it because I know the reality that the world speaks volumes. Like the way I carry myself now, I'm truly confident who I am because of what's now in my environment. I've never walked in the room. I've never really walked in the room and been my most confident self, even though like I may come in and be like the loudest person in the room and like attention be on me, but I've never really knew that that's not really what I wanted. I never like, even though I was chasing something, like in,
That's what I saw in him.
I didn't really want that. Like I'm more of
ambition.
a person who wants to be in Atlanta in the trees and like being
He's
in
a
a different
nature guy.
environment.
What
I
did
just had this ability.
Spencer said yesterday, the guy we had yesterday said like you have to you have to fund the mission. So the nonprofit becomes the profit because you have to fund the mission. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm getting out of what you're saying.
Absolutely.
And I actually
Absolutely.
relate to that as well. That I didn't get that aspect of myself until I honestly quit drinking.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't
Yeah.
comfortable with myself. I think that's why I drank so hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have
That's
to
it.
just
We're
says
talking
that.
the same
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
as soon
That's
as
absolutely
you
the truth.
start to feel and like you're like, oh, I can make myself feel this way. Like I don't need you
Yeah.
to feel like once you realize you don't need alcohol to have fun, all bets are off.
Well, you-
I honestly don't want. Go ahead. I apologize.
No, I was
You
just
were
gonna.
saying
I was
something
gonna
before.
say because on that True Word single, you even say, "Life takes its toll. Don't want to detox then relapse. So I mastered discipline."
Yes.
You know, and
Has he?
Yeah, and even on the
Insane.
Gray Hairs album cover, you're sitting there with a 40, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna.
Well,
alcohol's always
Hennessy,
been-
a bottle of Hennessy.
Oh, a bottle of Hennessy.
That's a
Yeah,
full
fifth.
bottle of
A fifth,
That's
big
a
bottle.
bottle of
Oh,
Hennessy.
okay.
So you've
Yeah.
been. How long you guys been together?
You want to say?
No.
I don't count the,
She don't
count
got the number
first
right.
2
I'm the
years.
one who got
I
the
never
number
get the
right.
numbers.
Oh shit.
I always
I
say
think-
6 years.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Is it
So
right?
so 6 years.
right.
So she's been with you through the
It's more than-
transition.
It's really 6 years. It's really 7. I would say like close to 7. Closer to 7.
It's dope though. So you've been with him the whole transition.
Pretty much, absolutely. Not even pretty much, absolutely. Watching one day for him to wake up to the next, I'm not drinking anymore. I'm like, all right. It's not like he had said that before. You know, he'll be like, oh, I need to take a break.
Yeah, I remember you taking breaks
Yeah.
just through our history,
Yeah.
through the 20 years I've known you.
He'll say that.
But this is the first time it's stuck,
just
right? For 2
That's
years.
it.
Because I just
Ready.
like when I quit smoking cigarettes, like, you know, when like I was not ready at those points in times, like I wasn't going to do it because I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's really what it was. Is like a lot of times you can, like with the cigarettes, you can do the patch, you can do all that other stuff, like,
All
but
the
it's not really
substitutes.
truly like it works for people. I'm not saying it doesn't, but for me, it was like just a cop out in my mind because I know the foundational
crazy.
stuff, the foundational truths, like lie in where's my mind frame at? Like, am I? Because I know I will resort back to like the same old traditional like things that make me feel comfortable.
But is there something for somebody that wants to replicate your success getting off drugs or alcohol?
Well, I
That
think
you could-
he just said it because like quitting cigarettes was so. I smoked for almost 24 years, and it was so easy. I was mad about it. Like I was like, holy, like because all you hear about is like, oh, it's the hardest thing in the world. But once you're just like, I don't want to fucking smoke
Yo,
anymore.
like
It
we
was
gotta,
like-
we
so
gotta
yeah.
talk more without even this, like right
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
because like the reality is like we're reflections of each other,
Yeah.
and when we say this, like, because this is exactly like I don't like to say to people like when they hit me in like a DM or like in a message on social media and they're like, you know, oh yeah, it's been 5 years for me, like, yo, keep it going, and that's dope. It's beautiful. And then they like give you the like they give you the support, the super dope support, and then they let you know you can do it. And I don't really feel like it's even
hard.
I know I can do
And-
it.
and-
Like it's
and-
not even
but it is a hard thing.
arrogance.
It is a hard
You're
thing.
right. And that's why I say it's like a fine line because I don't want to like misrepresent or
Can I say this? See, I think that I learned this when I stopped drinking too. I don't think that I wasn't an alcoholic. I was just like depressed.
Yeah.
That's what it was, and like
Yeah.
I just didn't know any better. You know, once I learned that I could step away from drinking, I was like, oh shit, I don't even like that. You know,
For me, it was,
I don't even like that.
for me, it was like I really truly was socially awkward.
He was.
Yeah, well,
I'm
that
a
too.
socially awkward individual
I think we
because
all
like
are.
when I don't think I think everybody.
But you're a
like,
writer, so more so.
Yeah, I think more like I think just like truly
I'm the
like
social butterfly, and
Yeah,
then
then-
he was the socially awkward. I'm like,
yeah, like
I'll
I'm
see
in
his
spot,
environment
pockets and I
change.
see
Yeah.
individuals like kind of like speaking about certain things and like having conversations that I don't want to have anything to do with, and then I like attempt to get small. Like I literally get small in that environment because it's like uncomfortable for me.
Were you ever like you can move that mic
Sorry.
back to
Oh, yeah,
yourself? Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
Like,
but like I think it's also sit up straight. Like,
it's all good.
No,
it's all
I was
good. No,
trying to
no,
put
just
you-
Yeah, no,
just
no,
because
no.
she's just doing the wife thing. It's all good.
No, I appreciate.
To
I,
talk
it's-
into
it's
the,
fine.
talk
I
into
super-
the microphone.
yeah.
I
that's
super
why.
appreciate it. I was getting chill, like and feeling good,
Although-
comfortable.
Yeah, no, you should please.
Before you made this shift, what was it? The We Are There podcast? Was that where you were just on?
Yeah.
And you were talking about with J-Ro of the Alcoholics in Denmark.
Yeah, and
Oh
you know,
my
There's some funny-
J-Ro commented on that. Like
I
which is
saw
like,
him in the
You know,
comments.
because the you know what? But that really made me think about like who I was.
Wait, describe
as
that
far
real
as-
quick.
As far as I'm going to,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is like how I affected individuals in being in the room and kind of having a bully nature, like in like saying. Because that J-Ro situation is similar to an Apollo situation. Apollo Brown had let me know that he hadn't drank in quite some time. You know, and the nature of me being playful and being free spirited and peaceful, and then being like, "Yo, drink. It's my man Spender's birthday, and you have to drink."
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't
not.
see the interview, so I'm losing context on what.
What he's talking about is I did an interview that just came out recently this past week, and in it I'm talking about a situation when I'm in Europe in Denmark, and I challenged J. Raw of the Alcoholics to a drink off. Like I told him that he's not an alcoholic.
How?
That's some shit I would have done though.
Like
How,
yes,
Swift?
bro. Like what's wrong?
And
with
my
you?
name was my name's Tash, and Tash is one
You
of the
know,
alcoholics.
like you would have
so
been
we would have
like,
already
yeah,
been like,
it's
there's
already
only
been
one
it.
Tash.
And
you know
we're
what I
from
mean?
Massachusetts, and it's
the way
just
it
like,
is.
yo, like we got
Bully
something to
style.
say
Yeah.
about that
Everything.
drinking. And,
Well,
no,
you've-
but drinking, like being
Yeah.
like we
Oh,
just
yeah.
True.
in the confrontational nature of being from where we come from, like in a certain mannerism, is just like.
But he said in the comments he wasn't even drinking at that time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
you
why I
got
brought
him
up the
to.
Apollo
Yeah.
thing. That's why I brought up the Apollo thing, because Apollo wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
When I was like very aggressively attempting to make someone drink, and it's like that's
Which is crazy now when you think about it.
Yeah,
In your
it's-
space, you're
yeah.
like, holy shit, that was like a
super
terrible
terrible.
thing.
It was super
Terrible thing to
terrible.
do.
But like most people around see it. But that tells you something about what my wife said earlier about like having the right people around
Yeah.
you, because the right person will pull you back and correct you.
Yeah, be like,
and be
you
like,
can't
yo,
be-
bro, that's not cool.
That's
like, you know,
not
like, yo,
cool.
check yourself. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Like it's
And,
okay
like,
to have fun, but just don't.
in violation,
Yeah.
super in violation, and I can own that. And I never
That's
want
huge.
to. I never want to lose sight of that. I don't want to say, okay, yo, like that, like let's cover up that part.
Well, let's take that for a minute, because in hip hop, especially, it seems like, you know, aggressive, like strong male, like alpha shit, that like no one can ever be wrong and no one can ever own anything. Like being
It's-
wrong
it's-
and owning
it's-
shit is dope.
It's weak. It's weakness from
Yeah.
our trauma. It's
That's what
like,
I
yo,
believe.
it's like, especially in the black and brown community, it's difficult to like face, you know, therapy and and seeing psychologists. We find therapy and being aggressive around one another and doing the dozens and finding ways of, you know, speaking toward one another and like letting our aggression show that way. And the truth of the matter is sometimes you just need a hug.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the
true.
reality.
Sometimes you need to give a
Like,
hug.
Yo, the
Have you ever
truth
seen
is
what
like
the body does, like when the chest to another chest connects?
What, like the energy or something? Is it?
It's the endorphins, the heart, the whole body. You get 10 times more circulation throughout your entire body. Your cardiovascular system automatically is like, oh, automatically. I can't make that up. And that's it. It doesn't matter if it's male, female, child. You know, just a hug. It has to be chest to chest, because you could do the whole side thing, but right? How does that feel?
Yeah.
You know, it's not the same till you like get that actual full
but that
contact.
ain't really hip hop, right?
Yeah.
Not
So,
yet.
like, you know, it isn't
it is.
really hip hop. No, it is hip hop. It absolutely
But
is.
how about
I
this
agree.
though? Because hip hop is still young. I mean,
Right.
how old are you?
Absolutely.
I'm 46,
I'm
46 about to be 47.
I'm 43. So I mean, we're basically the same age as hip hop.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
just learning this now.
Yes.
Yes.
So hip hop's just learning
That's
this
what Gray
now.
Hairs was attempting
You know,
to say.
like-
That's what I mean. Like when I'm saying, like, yo, it's like we growing with hip hop, and like, yo, a lot of this stuff we're throwing it at the wall. And like, yo, Alex, my dad was a gangster with a Rolling Stone mentality. He died young, and he was not attempting to be about any of the stuff that the world was feeding him, right? And so I could have followed that trajectory, but I found something that kind of like helped me mask a bit of it, but I still had to throw it at the wall because Alex wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a lot of stuff that I learned on the go and on the fly, and a lot of hip hop artists are that. They're like just learning on the go and on the fly and just throwing it at the wall and seeing what makes sense. And like we have so much like that we are able to give to people that's profound.
Yeah.
Because of that, because we learned on the job and on the go. But then there's another side of it where if you just pause like and be vulnerable, and like I was vulnerable with my wife in many instances, that allowed me to learn more.
Absolutely.
Learn so
Vulnerability is
much
strength.
more.
It's
Yo,
strength.
there's
The
so
Things
much.
album.
There's
Have you
so much
heard
to
the Things
learn
album?
in vulnerability.
Yeah.
Have you heard Order and Chaos too?
Yeah.
That's where it really started.
Yeah.
The Order and Chaos album. That's where it officially.
Do you guys have a song together?
Well, we have an album together.
You do.
We're about to come out with an album, but we do have a song.
Oh, see,
Yeah, there's a song on one of the EPs.
See, that right
right
there is like when he says something and she does the face.
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
That just happened right there.
Oh, definitely, it's definitely happening.
It's because he puts me on this.
So you guys can never lie to people like when
Right.
you're next to each other.
nah,
It's
we
never
don't have
gonna
no
hap-
reason
It's
to.
never gonna happen. You should put,
Nah,
no, I don't think you
can't.
understand.
Yeah.
You can't lie to people
We just
because
can't.
they'll
Of
know.
No.
Right.
It's like
I'll try
she
to
gives
be
you
like,
away.
Yeah, of
no,
course.
or he'll will give me
give you-
away.
yeah,
Yeah,
vice
vice
versa.
versa.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing. We'll be like, oh, we didn't plan that. Like you could tell. Like
Yeah, of course.
we cannot sit there and try to be like indifferent or try to like hide something because either I blurted out. He's like, Queen, I told you not to say anything about that. Yeah, I'm like, I
It is.
tried.
The natural, of course.
But the cat's out the bag. You have a track on one of the 3 EPs together, and you have a whole album coming out together.
So the MAGA the title track MAGA Make Art Great Again.
Yep.
She's on this, and we did
Was I?
that's the Edith Bunker.
What
Oh.
Edith Bunker joint?
Yeah.
Okay, now like, did you see that meme that just came on? Like Archie is 48 and Edith is 44, and it's just like, holy shit. Yeah, that's crazy, right?
No, I didn't see the.
Yeah,
I didn't
Archie's
see
age
that.
on the show was 48, and Edith's age on the show was 44.
That's exactly where we're going.
That's fire.
Yeah, that's correct. But just the fact that they look like that, they look like they're so old. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just that.
Right. Oh no, I hear
Because
what
back
you're
in the
saying now. 'Cause
80s,
they look-
in the 80s and 70s,
Oh,
40 years
right,
old
right,
look 40
40s.
years old. Like 40 years, you look oldish. I'm 40. We're not 40.
Right.
That doesn't look
Definitely
old.
don't look old as
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah,
Like
we
that.
don't
Like,
look-
No, we
don't look
can't.
Archie
Yeah,
old, like
remember
Nowhere
when we
near there.
were kids, like you'd look at a 40-year-old, you'd be like, oh, that motherfucker's old.
Oh,
But yo,
yeah.
you know what's
Zach, you're
funny?
right.
It's like you now that I'm thinking about that because the NBA players, I was like
Yeah.
looking at some of these NBA
Oh,
players from the
shoot,
70s,
you're
and they
so
be
right.
looking crazy, like, and they like
Like
21.
they're
Go look
like
at the old
they're
Like, yo, my
pictures.
man
tired.
Go look at old pictures from
41.
the 80s. Like, you just, those people in their 30s and shit. You're like, what the fuck?
We've revolutionized the.
It's
when we
wild.
sold Benjamin Button, that's what happened.
That's what it is.
That's what
Yeah, yeah.
happened.
What do you think about, since your music is always
Hold on. Before they get off MAGA,
Yeah.
cover art. Talk to me about the cover art of MAGA.
Oh, everything
Hold on.
everything is happening. With
Can
the
you talk to me
cover.
about the cover art of MAGA?
She can say whatever she wants.
She just starts dying laughing.
Because it's everything he talks about. It's everything.
Can we describe what it is for the people? Well,
I mean, so yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's your cover. I don't want to describe it.
There's so much like
There's a
so
Klans
much
member
going
on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but hanging.
I was gonna say he's hanging.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, like
The only
you know,
way the Klans member should be depicted on a cover.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, the truth is out the bag in the cover of like, yo, we're like, we wanna show art the way, well, I'm being a reflection. Like I the way I see
Yeah.
the world that I want to see, like this would be the perfect imagery. And like it's some of it is playful and like how she depicted, you know, George Washington with Barack's face. And
Did you do
Barack's
them?
Face, she did that.
So
Oh, no,
No, not that. Not the art cover, not the album cover, but she did the
I did the video.
the animated video.
Okay, so we just watched that
Yeah,
as well.
so
yeah.
she
Yeah, it
did
was
that
dope.
with the Barack
Thank
face
you.
coming out of the
Very
George
cool.
Washington face, which is like, yo, they're one
that
and
was
the
in
same.
the principal level.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
they're one and the same. Like, all of that is one and the same to me. So, like, that's why I said, like, we talking about Mein Kampf, and then I'm saying Obama is the same thing as George Washington. Like, a lot of
The
people.
same
Well, it is. It is the same mentality. Like
Right,
that
but a lot
brain's
of-
the same brain.
Yes, yeah. Some people have a hard time with that, but like artistically, like we can color outside the lines and see the world like the way we want to see it. And I have my own code, the way she has her own code that carries who we are, no matter what is going on in the world we live in the system we live in. And again, we're in Georgia with the mind frame that like, yo, if I get stopped by the police or if anything is happening, it's go time. It's
go
real time,
time.
in real time. If someone tests the nature of Josiah, Isaiah, and Jada's safety, that's my children, and they're going to be safe. And like, there's going to be more. Like, I never walked the streets of Lawrence and felt the need to act like a gangster with a gun out and being about that. You know, that's not my lifestyle. I don't live that. I never profess to be that on record or anything like
Yeah.
that. But I it's real time. It's real time about who we are as a people and what we go through. And like,
And I
why
think that's the message that people don't get from you, though. They hear you, you know, right now I can't, it's so many bars. I was gonna start, you know, planet Earth, futures, you know, he just starts going off and it sounds aggressive. And that's what I said earlier that I heard of him when Term tried to introduce me to him, and I was like, nah, because the kind of hip hop that I heard was like Heavy D, you know, Rakim, where it's like, you know, more smoother, you still saying something, it's positive. It was hard for me to listen to NWA or like Public Enemy, but I understood what that music was. Or, you know, with Nas, obviously huge fan of Nas. And with him, you know, hearing that aggression, I think it goes over people's heads. So me telling him that, he's writing it in his rhymes. He's like, if you listen to the things, they need a bouncing ball to follow me, and then he'll just start going. And I'm like, so now imagine doing videos for him with the lyrics. I'm like,
you finally get to illustrate, though, these lyrics that a lot of people might be missing because he raps so fast.
And she actually, and the dope thing is she does it, and then it's like, I don't really need to be like, she can get it exactly right without me having to be a part of it. Like,
he lets me go free hand.
She knows exactly
he
where
doesn't
I'm going
co-manage
with
it. Yeah.
And I had zero reason to, because she gets it like that. It's like
I'll ask
the message
him
is the same.
like, what it does.
What's the overall message of these 3 projects?
Make Art Great Again is in the music. It's like, it's truthfully even with the cover being what it is, it's like really fun. Like,
and I'm not against the cover. I just thought it was interesting.
I thought whether
interesting.
you are or not, like, I mean, like, whether you are not or not, it's there and it's meant to be there. And I think it's like
thought provoking.
It makes you question like the narrative of like what MAGA was meant for with Donald Trump, because I think I did kind of what Donald Trump did. Donald Trump kind of like, it's the same thing as like the narrative that was happening with COVID. It's like, yo, the picture has been painted that this is what's going on.
Exactly.
Even if it's not what's going on, let's roll with the narrative, because the narrative is winning.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of like what happened with a lot of things. So like I allowed it to be just that. Like I wanted to paint an image, and whatever individuals take from it, that's fine with me. Like I know what really is going on, and what, like, when the records come out, like Let's Make Art Great Again is really to have you take from it what you will. And there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of fun records. It's very fun records.
It's different. It's not him either. It's a whole different REKS. It's like people are used to like this extra boom bappy, like, which is absolutely necessary, not to negate it, you know, because, you know, the b-boys still need to be b-boying, you know, we fellas, y'all still need to be, you know, pumping and flexing in your gym or your walks or whatever you want to listen to, and just bob your head and rock with it. But he took it. Every producer that I felt
think
you
with the
worked
other
with,
ones, yeah, like because you're like opening up to like the other ones that are softer, like
no, I was talking all about the joint. Metaverse, hello,
of course.
Metaverse, and then the ones with the what the y'all.
That's what I mean. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's just
Bringing back that Busta Rhymes.
It's fun. It's fun. Like there's gonna be a lot
he
of
has
fun.
a track that is just so it's
Cheat
everywhere.
Code is not out yet.
Yeah.
It's not out yet, but we shot a video for that as well in Puerto Rico, and it's fun. It's like it's taking a cue from, like, you know, Ice Cube, Jacket for Beats, and like, you know, like being on
So
I jacked for lyrics, and I kind of redid a bunch of like the like I'm like stick 'em, ha ha ha, stick 'em. And I did the whole thing, but like I go through these different various.
Which you kind of did on Gray Hairs too, in one of those tracks.
I did some creative, like exactly.
Yeah, where you were doing impressions of all the different.
I did the impressions with 5 mics, like
which is amazing,
all in one.
Yeah.
So like I did some fun stuff like that.
The beat. The producers that he chose to work with,
Short
it was
Bus
like,
13
how do you choose? I was going to ask that next. How do you choose the producers you work with?
So for some of it is like for this project specifically, like I wanted to use Massachusetts artists like who I rock with, and who I've known like and worked with for a period of time, and I rock with. Like Short Fuse is like my favorite producer. Like,
yeah, I loved the album he did with Terminology.
In general,
too.
I'm a big fan of Short Fuse, like as a producer, and as a person, and like so he's the person. Was the first person I thought of, and then Melks is another one that I wanted to work with in the same kind of way, and that just was seamless. And with Short Bus 13, I didn't really know them. I reached out to them and did what I've been doing, like what she called the COVID pack. Like for a period of time, what I was doing is I had to rewrite how I was getting paid and how I was gonna like figure out things. So shout out to Brick Records for always being like a major like supplier of good for me, but I needed to find a new way of making money. So I allowed producers and artists to like kind of play the label and get me to the point where I had money up front to do a lot of the things that I need to do.
And you were even working with, I mean, on that True Words single that is on Apple Music. That was with an Arabic producer.
No,
right?
that's a producer from Austria.
Oh,
we
from
have
Austria.
A whole album done. We having the whole album done. That's
He
a
went
song.
to Austria
that's
to
a
record
song,
that.
but I have a whole
Okay.
project done. With,
What language was he rapping in on that
He's
track?
rapping in German, which
Oh.
I speak. Ich spreche Deutsch.
Oh.
Yeah, so like
Sorry, I can't respond in German.
it's cool. But like
He has entire conversations.
How did you learn German?
I did
Duolingo.
Duolingo first, and then now I have a tutor. Like so, I have a
that's
tutor in
dope.
Heidelberg. Yeah.
Does this mean you're going to be moving to Germany sometime in the
we'll
future?
live in Germany
We'll
for a
live in
bit?
Germany.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And why did you move to Atlanta from Boston?
Again, we gotta get on the land grab, and
Yeah,
we gotta be
yeah.
on this
It's
Well,
mind
different.
frame.
You
We
gotta
gotta be
get
on this
out.
mind
Once
frame.
you start traveling, you become on a different mind frame. It's beautiful living out here, but again, comfort,
Traveling's amazing.
right?
It's amazing.
Traveling.
I saw you guys in Puerto Rico. I seen you out
And we
there.
gotta be like, we had to kind of get out of our own way, and I think our own way was the village that we grew up in, and like there's a lot of noise that surrounds our head when we're in the hustle and bustle of our normal life. And so in order to get out of that, specifically for me, like more, I think, I don't know if like you can speak, but
Yeah,
I think
I agree. He had to get me out. I was like, no, I don't want to leave my family.
immediately I was like,
Yeah.
when we, I was like quickly, like we're going to Cuba and then we're going to Europe.
How many languages do you speak?
I only speak
About
I speak
4.
2 languages. I speak
No.
2 languages.
You speak Spanish.
I speak some Spanish. I don't speak like.
You speak
good
Spanish.
enough.
Don't look at me. I'm not going to bust out some Spanish on you.
Nah,
Test you real
didn't-
quick.
I
I
Yeah.
didn't think so. I speak with her mom
He's
in
learning-
Spanish, but I'm not really. I'm like at a first grade level.
He's
Because
learning-
Lawrence is super Spanish.
Yeah, I used to speak better Spanish, but I don't speak very well Spanish.
Okay.
I should speak better, and we should be speaking in.
No muy bien.
There it is.
tell you
Poquito
more
español para
There
tú.
That sounds like me.
Damn. Okay, you sound like him.
Dame la cerveza. Aquí,
Sound
aquí.
better than me now.
I know that one too.
But you had an EP also with an Italian producer, right?
Yeah. So the Samir project dropped in January 12th. It's called Rather Unique.
Yep.
Features Blinke, who's like a battle star out in Milan, Italy. Well, all over Italy. Shout out to Blinke, and shout out to Fane, who's my brother from Miami, a super dope rapper down with
Certified.
down with with Pistol P and Terror Squad.
Okay.
And that's my guy. Like he came to Europe with me, and
He's a
super
great
dope MC.
dude. Yeah, super.
And good guy. Yeah. And then the thing happened with Samir in the same way that I said, like, this whole need for me to find a way of making finances work because I'm no longer traveling during COVID. And so like I reached out to artists and I said, we're gonna cut out the label and we're gonna do this way, and then we'll break even, like do a 50-50 split on the back end in perpetuity. Like we'll have like something that
he
works
basically
for us
had
both.
to be his own manager, his
Okay.
own booking agent. Like imagine doing that.
I mean, doing that already before, like I was doing that before, but like a lot of times, like I was doing it on the fly and not really know, like,
Yeah.
You know who's the master of that? Is Master Ace.
oh, of course,
he's his own-
tour for the longest period
Yeah,
of time,
and
and
he's
watched
his own booking agent,
I
his
watched
own
the
manager.
blueprint. I watched a lot of the blueprint and learned a lot, like on the go with Master individuals like Master Ace. Like salute to him. He's on a project dropping in April.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I was
Master
gonna
Ace.
say you've worked with like just the hip hop Hall of Fame.
Well,
Yeah, I believe so. And I
name
believe there's
just the
more.
collaborators on that
my
new
God.
music video.
You have the new
There's like
on Big-
12
Oh,
people on it.
Big 3.
Yo, Razcats. Let me just say something
I
real quick.
love Razcat.
I did not know Razcats' sons were in what's the name of the group?
Whatever you're gonna say, nor did I.
No, hold on. The Contra, like what is Coast Contra?
Okay, yeah,
His twin sons are 2 of the kids in that group, Coast Contra.
that's crazy. No, I had no idea.
No idea. Yeah.
Yo, you know Coast Contra? Do you know Coast Contra?
yeah.
I know Coast Contra. You guys, I know you guys aren't like fans of a lot of the newer dudes. You guys would definitely rock.
Hey, I'm hip. I'm
Do you
hip,
know
man.
who Coast
I'll
Contra
break
is?
a hip.
Oh, put him on the
Listen
spot.
to Coast Contra though. Coast Contra
Okay.
is super dope.
I've
Well, I
heard
thought
it.
the Razcats.
I
guys
pay
would
attention
definitely-
to
I
new
could vouch
cats.
he would rock with
I
them.
know Hush, and I know I pay attention
Yeah.
to like what's going
He
on.
really
new.
does.
I pay attention to the fabric of new because like there's so much to learn.
Who
from
of
that.
the mainstream right now do you like, or is there an
I
album
like
that
a
you
lot
like?
of the mainstream.
I just saw like
listen,
little.
I like,
one
I like
that's not gonna
music. I
say
don't,
no.
She's more boom bap to me than like because people got the REKS narrative wrong.
I just saw Little
Yo, like,
Baby
when
at
Mos Def
TD
was
Garden.
dissing Drake, I was like, you bugging, bro. Like,
That's
there's
not
a lot of stuff.
So
I
what
rock
should
with.
what should we
I
be?
like Drake.
What should us old timers be listening to? Like I listened to the.
I wanted to ask, what did you think about the Eminem Benzino beef?
Oh, yeah.
back?
I think that's corny.
Yeah, it was
Come
kind of
on,
out
like,
of the
what
blue.
is that even? Like,
Like,
what is
why?
that?
So you hear from Mos Def versus Drake though? You want to hear some tracks on that or?
Nah, like I mean, like oh, you think
Nope.
Do you think like
Good that you got the Big Dookie
like if they
chain, the
started
rope.
dissing each other?
You're wearing it well.
do
Yeah,
I
just-
want to hear them dissing each other?
Well, I'm saying if they started to diss each other, would you be like?
It's
I'm not
Candy
really, I'm not
dissing
really
LL,
a fan
sorry.
of dissing each other really
Yeah.
at
Be
all.
honest.
Like I'm not a fan of all the
He
like
really
you know.
doesn't.
I'm not about that. Like I think there's
That's
not much to be gained from.
That's crazy because that's how I know you.
I know, but
how
that's not
Literally,
who I
me and
am.
you outside of like McGann's.
Yes.
Drunk as shit.
talking trash about every artist,
Almost
thinking,
fighting.
like yes,
Fucking going
of
at
course.
each. Yeah, that's how I know you.
That was like the false representation of
And
like
that's why I did not.
that's
see
me
in
not
him.
knowing who I am. Like that's a phony version and facade, and I gotta be real about that. Like I gotta call myself on my shit because like
Yeah.
the truth of the matter is like I think that's a lot of rappers.
Accountability.
Yeah, bro. Like yo, like real talk. There's no cliche in that. Like
Yeah.
the reality is, I know the face that I put in front of people, and I'm not proud of that, but I'm not running from that.
I'm with
at all.
I'm with you 100%.
I don't run
on-
from that.
On the same
Like,
shit.
No,
It's just funny to me still to hear that you don't like because I'm not really into it either, and it's just funny to hear that. 'cause
Yeah, I don't
you're
like
just
it. Like I just bought into the narrative, and for a long period of time, I colored inside the lines, even though I pretended to color outside of it.
That's a good. Yeah.
Now I color outside of the lines for real.
Yeah, I like the way you put that.
No, that's the truth. Like that, because
It
that's
is.
what it is.
Do
Like
you-
sometimes you're like really system driven, and you fight it because you really are.
Let's suppose that like we're introducing you to a new person, right? What's a REKS song that you're super proud of that, or either one of you that you're super proud of that you would absolutely like? This is the one you got to start with.
A song or an album.
a
that's
brand
the
new
intro.
album,
Intro.
a brand new
Just-
song of mine.
Whatever, not brand
Whatever
new.
song.
The
just-
introduction to REKS.
Just an introduction to REKS. If I was to show someone REKS, or if you, either one of you can answer this question to both of you. Like if I had to start this introduction, like what's your favorite song you've done? Maybe your favorite album, your favorite song. Just like, hey, I start here.
For me, with him, I would say there's one song and then there's one album that people like. Oh, your man raps. I'm like, yeah.
I know this. Go ahead. Anyway.
No, I like the way she said that. She goes, "Oh, your man raps. Oh, you got to see this." Like that's the way she said that shit. Like that. Okay, all right. Now I'm interested. Okay.
I'm happy to show him off. Absolutely, but it's not something that I do.
It's okay. It's okay.
No,
You can be proud.
try
It's
not.
okay.
I am proud, but I'm not boastful. I promise you, I'm not. You know, it's just it is. For me, the greatest X is his.
Oh, that album is amazing. Masterpiece.
Thank you.
And yeah, literally every and it's hard to listen to albums, an entire album.
Yeah, from first to
Right?
last, and the cover, everything about it was just
There's
amazing.
one or two songs I'll tell him, I'm like, he heard me.
Are you a yes man? Will you tell him if shit's whack? Is she
She
like,
been telling me.
I bet.
She tell me all the
telling
time. I
him.
love
That's why
that.
it's like there's one
I
or
love
two
that.
songs.
That remind me of my sisters. They call me on my shit. You
is
know
there
what I mean?
ever
So, like,
something that you've been so sure of? You're like, this is it, and then she's come in the room and been like,
yeah, but it's not
"Nah,
even
that
just.
ain't
It's
it."
not even just that. It's like dishes that I cooked, like something I come bring in, and she's like, no, that ain't it.
that ain't it.
It's a bunch of that.
You can't be you can't. It's okay to be a yes man if you really agree.
Yeah.
You know, don't be a yes man just to like for the sakes of. That's what he was around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It builds the ego. Like it's okay. Ego is misconstrued. You could have.
You should have ego. Ego is
Exactly.
you need to have ego.
Harness it.
And
Right.
it's like I call it like it's like confident humbleness. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what room to be humble in. I know what room to be confident in.
Well, I can't like the crew that like I'm known for being in is like a room full of egos.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Well,
It's just nonstop egos.
For the people that might not know, what is the crew you know for running with?
Like Show Off is the
please
crew.
go,
Show Off is like the one that people know, and then there's
they're called Show Off.
Diesel. There's the M Diesel on the local scene. People know MSC, Mass State Committee, and Diesel. But
with
like
Lucky Dice.
For people that might not know
scale,
who Show Off is, like just run down the roster of those guys.
Static Selector, Terminology, JFK. For me, Cali Raps. I don't know why Cali Raps wasn't in Full Circle.
Right?
I don't know why he wasn't in the Full
happened?
Circle record, but Cali Raps. That's why I know him. Easy Money.
Yeah.
Speaking of Show Off, I got to ask, because we finally got someone that's from Show Off in here.
Yeah.
Bedlam's a great friend of the show, a great friend. You got a good Bedlam story?
Yeah.
Come on, we got to have
I got a good Bedlam story.
Give it to me.
Yo,
Come on.
Bedlam, I don't know why you didn't let me book. I don't know why you didn't let me book that new venue when I was supposed to book the venue.
What, the one in downtown Boston?
Yes.
Yeah.
I reached out and I got crickets. So like you owe me a call. You got to let me know why you didn't let me book the location when the location was ready to be booked.
He's gonna tell you what happened was.
That's my bro.
That's what
my
he's gonna
bro.
tell you.
He's a good dude.
a
I don't
great
really have
dude.
no stories about
You can't.
What are you trying to do?
There's
An album release up there? Like a listening party?
Yeah, I was supposed to do a listening party, but he left me on silent. I think Bedlam's
What
just
the
get
fuck?
it. Bedlam's get
Uh-oh.
it. He hit me back and then left me on silent. So I'm putting him on blast and like out loud right now because that's supposed to be my guy, and then he just left me on silent.
You can't really say anything about
That's
Bedlam.
my Bedlam story.
I
Right
know
now.
he's that guy,
I need like an
though.
Right.
embarrassing like
You
anecdote
can't.
story that this guy.
There's
Even in our
Bedlam's
like,
rock solid
I
when
know.
it comes to like being a staple of like
I don't think I've ever
everything.
seen him.
He's the
gone.
glue. He's
Always,
the glue.
always been him and Wally.
And
like
Wally.
was
Yeah,
like
Wally's a good dude.
Wally was my manager for a period of time, like
Okay.
and a good dude. And like Bedlam has always done guerrilla marketing and street team stuff for me. And they like
Probably how I know you originally in the WERS days was probably through Bedlam, I think.
really
And
that I think you knew
undergroundhiphop.com
me
or what? Or
Bedlam, I
before
think.
Bedlam.
I think so.
I guess we do go back to like
I
2005.
think I know you very early in
Yeah.
like
When I
Super
was
early.
just young 20s.
yeah.
So the Show Off crew, is that how you got introduced to like Primo?
Absolutely.
'Cause that-
Static, rolling with Static, like kind of like Static has the work ethic and the aggression.
That's what I hear.
There's zero there's zero like to me there's zero competition when it comes to like that. Like in being able to just like
like you.
I know. That's what people. The more I hear about
bang
this,
through
is that
walls to bang through walls and get it done. I think Static's that guy when it comes to that. And like I remember very early on Static being like, yo, yeah, he didn't talk about it like, yo, I would love to work with Primo the way we talked about it. He was like, yo, when we do this, when we do that, and he was adamant and he knew we would look at him like, yo, this dude is bugging. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. And he just got it done.
But he did.
He just was really about it. And honestly, he would be like, we're going to Primo's today. Or like, we're going to Q-Tip's house. Or we're doing this. Like, and it's like, what?
Yeah, and I think Terminology just came out with like his 43rd or something project.
I mean, he has more than that.
Yeah,
He has
that's
way
crazy.
more than
Yeah,
that.
no, I think he's yeah. I mean, he might be there. Like, it might be about that, but like, yeah.
Now I've seen a few, but what's a funny Terminology story?
I got a favorite term story.
Yeah.
All right, term I got plenty, but like, I think the funniest to me and also goated, like, we were headed to Canada. And we're in Statics. And you probably got a bunch of funny term
I heard.
stories.
Yeah,
because
This is when I
she knows
didn't know
term.
him.
She
I
knows
got the
term
best.
earlier than me. Like but like I think this one when he we were going to Canada and we're at Static Studio. We go to grab some beers after like having probably a whole handle of Hennessy.
But of
And
course,
we're about to take a flight.
Yeah.
And we go to get some
about to go to
22s
Canada.
some 22s of Stella, right? And we come out the store, it's me, Deadeye, and Term. And there's a cop car here, and Term kicks the cop car
For no
and goes
reason.
running. and falls on his face like and Deadeye and I like the whole way
He
it
broke
happened
his arm, though.
was
He
no,
broke
but
his arm.
you told the story like, yo, that's good that you said it that way because like the whole plane ride, I'm telling him to shut up, stop complaining.
Yeah.
Stop
his
crying.
arm is broken.
His arm is
I'm like,
broken.
I didn't know it was
the whole time.
broken, and nobody knew it was broken.
Nobody knew.
man.
We were clowning him
He's
the
like,
whole time.
"Oh, my
Like, yo,
arm,"
stop.
and nobody believed me.
Stop acting like a bee. Stop acting like, yo,
Yeah.
like, stop being a sucker. Like, yo, we
And
talking
his
mad
arm is
trash to him.
legitimately
He gets to the
broken.
hospital. He gets to the hospital, and they're like, yeah, it broke it. And so he did the whole tour in a sling. No
How did he not
complaints.
get arrested?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the funny
a
thing.
parked car.
The
It
cop
was-
car,
it was
there
a-
was no cop
there was
there. It's like, yo, bro, what are you proving?
He kicked it.
Like,
He
what are
jumped
you
on
doing?
top of the car.
Like, what do you? No,
He-
he just kicked it.
Handle.
Didn't he
And
jump on
tripped
top of
over-
the car?
Nah, that's another instance.
Oh.
He tripped- nah, we're mixing two
It's
cop
true,
car
it's true.
stories.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so it's
there's
that, and then-
T's an adventure.
Wait, what's the
trust me.
jump on the car?
He just gets evil tea.
Yeah,
When he-
that's
when
what
he
it's called.
just-
That's what it's called, evil tea.
There's no other way of explaining it. It's like evil tea. Like,
When
yo,
evil tea
what are
comes
you
out-
doing? This is not the time.
Evil T. That's what I'm going to refer to him as from now on.
You guys are from Lawrence,
it's
right?
not him.
Lawrence?
I'm from Lawrence.
Haverhill.
Haverhill. So how...
Oh, wait, say that again. Where you from?
Originally Lower
Oh,
East
nah,
Side.
you said Haverhill.
I did.
Damn. Got that on tape. Yeah, I like that one.
That is fucked up. He didn't get you.
No. Why I like that one? Because we got her to like, yo,
You couldn't get me to say that for years.
Fi- finally got you.
Absolutely. Oh, and I'm a Celtics, officially
That's
a
right.
Celtics fan. I was
That's right.
never a
That's what-
Celtics fan.
that's
Come
what
on.
I'm talking about.
Nick.
Wait, what's your favorite REKS story?
Oh, boy.
Sure. Sure. Oh my gosh, there's far too many. He has far too many stories, man.
Don't break out the
No,
camera.
I got one. Hold up, right? So my funniest one is this wasn't even a drunken moment. This was actually him sober. We meet. It's probably like not even 6 months in, and he thinks he could be Tim the Two-Man Taylor. Right? And
It's a reference for all us old folks out there.
you
That's
know,
the second Tim the Toolman Taylor reference
we need
today.
one more.
That's interesting.
World's
And
telling you
so-
something.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's true, but the water's dripping. It's annoying him, and I'm like, leave it alone. Maintenance
Wait,
is gonna come.
was I not drunk?
He was not
It
drunk.
would
He
be a
was
better
sober.
story if I'm drunk. Like, I mean, for me.
That's
like,
why I said
make
this
me
is
look
not even
better.
a drunken moment. And the drip kept going, drip, and I'm like, leave it alone. Maintenance is gonna be here tomorrow. They're gonna fix it. He's like, yeah, but I was like, no buts. Just like leave it alone. Man, listen. I go upstairs to the bathroom, and all I hear is, Queen! There's a fucking hot tub in the middle of my kitchen. Water bursting. It was like Niagara Falls bursting because he thought he closed the you had to obviously you're not everybody's a plumber.
Well paid profession though too.
He didn't shut the water off. You have to, if anything you're gonna work with water, you have to
Oh.
make sure you shut the water off.
Yeah.
And he thought if he pulled the knob tighter, it was going to stop the drip. No, it bursted the entire faucet, and he's
We
like
literally were up to knees.
knee deep in
Before-
water.
But
But wait,
what
the best
happened-
part,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
The best
yeah.
part, our phones were dead. Both of our phones were dead. Who were we gonna call? It's 2 a.m. in the dead middle of a Massachusetts ice just like day. Like,
Yeah.
you know those days that like the cold slaps you and it cuts your skin?
Yeah.
It was one of those
Know that
days.
too well.
Mind you, all the hot water was bursting out. It was bananas. He's like, the best part, he tries to get towels to stop the water. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. You've got to be kidding me. And our phones are off. We had to tell my nephew, who was drunk
on a computer.
on a
we went on a
computer.
computer and we contacted
My
nephew on
nephew's
the
drunk
computer.
as hell. He was like, he had to text my sister because his phone was dead too. So had to on an Apple computer, whatever. I guess you can text from an
don't
Apple
know.
computer to an Apple
idea.
phone.
He doesn't know.
No idea.
Neither. I'm drunk.
You can.
We definitely did.
You fucked the crib up.
Entirely.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
From,
and,
like-
and the fire department showed up like, bro, what are you doing?
What did you do?
When the fire
I'm
department
not.
asked her.
I'm not a a plumber. I'm not like
Clearly, yeah.
I'm not
Don't
built
quit
on-
your rap job.
Yo, I'm not on that wave.
So
Please don't.
not a plumber, but you have like, okay, so what's cool about your career so far, in my opinion, is you're a guy from, Haverhill, Lawrence, and you've traveled the world with some of the
Yeah, he has.
best rappers in the world, the best rappers in the world. I mean, the whole, like, when you were a kid thinking of this rap shit with, the pictures on the wall, and now you've actually, like, you're with Static Selector and some other rappers overseas and shit. Like, what's a story where you were like, I've made it? Like, this is not, you get where I'm going with the,
Yeah.
like, holy shit, like, my words did this. This is like,
I think it was the Primo moment for sure. Like,
how did that come about?
Static was building a relationship with Primo, like, as a newcomer out in New York, and like Primo, grew fond of like what he was doing, and was always having him around. And so when I moved down to Florida, I was down in Florida for like about 7 years. Another different time, like I had moved down to Florida, and I was gonna be done with music. And Static came down there and was like, we're gonna do this new project, like let's do this one that's Gray Hairs. It's like, if
Oh
if-
man, if you never
and he's
saw
like
that.
and he's like, let's do this one album. If it works, cool. If it don't, just go about your biz, what you're doing. It claims adjusting in in Florida.
Oh man.
Right?
Yep.
And do that, but Static was frequenting the studio with Primo and building Show Off. And it was like, we want to do this record. So like we started making records. I had a bunch of stuff already, and like we just started doing stuff, and we were able to come through. Primo's telling all these stories, and then he's deciding he wants to hear some stuff. So we got to play a couple things, and he liked what he heard and stated like, yo, I want to do something for it. And that was the moment. Like the moment he said, like,
You got
yo,
the cosign from Primo. Like,
the moment
you're
Primo
official.
said, like, the moment Primo said that this was like, because I already believed, like, already believed that it was possible. I think it was just Primo saying that I'm gonna do a record on this, and it truly manifesting. That was the moment where I was like, yo, this is a shift. This is a different part of what we're doing.
Why were you about to
quit?
quit before you put out Gray
Because I
Hairs
didn't-
and
I
then the
didn't
Greatest
balance.
X?
No, I didn't. No, I hadn't put that out yet.
Yeah, I know. I'm
I mean,
saying
I-
we wouldn't have those two albums if
like
you
I
had
had
quit.
only dropped the first two projects, and my objective was like, I really was like, I was my first marriage, right? My first marriage was on the rocks, and my kid's mother, like, she moved to Florida, and my transition to go to Florida was because of that, to like make that work. But the reality was, I was very childish in my whole nature and like everything that I was doing at that period in time. And I was attempting to make it work, but I had zero balance. Like, I had zero balance.
He did it.
Right?
He did it.
And that, I think
I love
that,
his accountability for what he's done.
I think that change is like that came late, like much later than other individuals. But I think that period in time, I was attempting to do what I'm doing now, what I'm capable of doing now, and it just happens for individuals at different points in time.
Well, I wanted to ask this earlier. You had brought up Immortal Technique. You'd brought up Immortal Technique earlier.
said,
Yeah, okay, got you. And he was during this whole Israel-Palestinian conflict. He's the only. I follow like thousands of rappers.
Yeah,
and he's the only one posting, like picking a side or really discussing it. And I was discussing this with some non-hip hop fans, and they were shocked. Like, oh, I'm surprised more rappers aren't talking about it. Why do you think that is?
I think other rappers are talking about it. People just
Yeah.
don't like,
You got to
You're
catch
saying
it.
It's not
taking
trending
aside-
as much. Yeah, or just.
I mean,
yeah.
Kweli was very outspoken.
He was
in many
okay.
ways.
He's always very outspoken. You're right, Talib Kweli.
Love or hate, like the reality is like he's very outspoken.
Yeah.
And then there's lesser known artists who are consistently on that kind of trajectory and conversation. I think if you wanna follow the trajectory of where the gatekeepers keep the gate open, and you wanna like get through the gate, you don't want to touch certain language.
Yeah,
that's obvious. And then if you don't really care, you're not gonna care. You know, I'm willing to have that conversation, but it's for me, it's like more. It's what I talk about anyway. Like if anybody looks at my lives or they look at what I talk about it, but I talk about it in another depth. I talk it in another in-depth way. In that I'm like, I love to converse about history and about the reality of what we know to be the case. But she mentioned Jekyll, the creature from Jekyll Island, and like individuals who know how the Federal Reserve was created. You have to read. If you read that book, if you read that book, then you're like, okay. If you're in the system, then you think it's like, you know, conspiracy theory, right? But if you really go look at the history of the IMF and like, you know, the World Bank and like the Bank of England, and you look at what the truth is, then you know that, you know, this is fact. Hindsight. Like it's not like it's not like, you know, creating like your own narrative and storylines that are fabricated like to follow the path of like behold a pale horse, or like, you know, saying things that like people say like, you know, they're building up the story of the Illuminati and the Bilderberg and the Medici and any. Like we can go down the line of like what has happened throughout history, and if you're really looking at what has happened over time, these are facts about like what has happened historically. Like
he watches endless videos. This is his conversation.
It's written in stone.
It's written in stone.
Like, it's written in like, you know what I mean.
To talk hip hop, you know, great.
We'll talk about the younger dryas after we wrap this up. We got Hush. We've been going actually for almost an hour and a half now.
All right, so we're here. It's Hush with the Big Dookie Chain. We're back. We're going to talk about some current events. The most recent one, the Super Bowl. Did you guys watch the Super Bowl?
Absolutely. Kind of fell asleep a little bit in between, but yeah, it was different.
Watched it. Yeah.
Did you have a choice of like who you wanted to win or anything?
I mean, I was going with the Chiefs.
He was going with the Chiefs. I was going with 49ers because, you know, they the Niners. But I didn't know about, Mahomes. I was going to call him McMahon. I didn't know about
A lot of people been comparing him to Brady, honestly, saying that he could be like the next GOAT, essentially.
Let's make that happen for him, man.
I think
Absolutely.
It's going to be tough
still
when
early,
you got beat,
but
it's still
when you got
early.
beat by the dude you talking
about.
Yeah,
facts.
Like,
you know.
your losses come against the dude you talk about you going to beat.
What'd you guys think of the halftime show?
Loved it.
He bought.
Yeah.
That was necessary.
That's the only part I watched.
That was that's when I
thought
woke up.
Jermaine Dupri outfit was very interesting.
Absolutely.
Did you
He looked a little like CeeLo, I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was.
That's who we thought. We said that. We said, he brought CeeLo out.
I was like, okay, he got CeeLo. It's really getting ATL. I was like, wait, that's Jermaine Dupri.
It was more like Uncle Fester.
Yeah, it was wild.
It was like the little girl dance socks. You know what I'm saying?
It was a wild
It
outfit.
was like little Eddie Munster.
Did you see him? He posted He posted today. Like he's like, those are $500 Gucci socks.
I don't care.
No, who cares?
Why are you?
He was like, I was drunk last night, so I didn't respond to nobody. But he took a picture of the socks. He's like, these are $500 Gucci socks.
I
And
don't
it's like,
care.
that was
being at Atlanta though, like I gotta say, like it felt really good seeing that whole energy. Like, you know, it was really dope. Like seeing that vibe.
We have a couple here right now. What do you guys think about the Usher, Alicia Keys thing? The whole shit that people talking shit about. He was
Listen,
too.
he was
people gonna
too
talk.
Yeah.
He's an actor. He's an entertainer. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. Like. Stop it. People just gonna stay talking. They're never gonna be satisfied. Oh, that was the weakest football game I've ever seen. It was all about Taylor Swift. No, it wasn't.
They made it about.
Well, they've been saying
You
Usher,
made it about Taylor Swift.
They've been saying
Usher's
Usher's a menace though because he's recently been like serenading a lot of people's girls.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
I was
and
gonna
that's
ask,
okay.
If he's up there on stage and he's rubbing down Alicia Keys in the thigh,
Listen,
that's okay.
do it. Just don't touch a private spot, yo. Just don't touch the nipples.
I
Just don't touch.
got you the
know
hall
that-
pass, homie.
Listen, no, he knows that.
none of that.
But that's not him, though.
Yeah, I
like,
don't
you
want
know what
none
I'm
of that.
saying?
Like, yo, no, real
he
talk. No, I
gets the
feel. I
pass.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
For
I know what it was.
entertainment values, if the other person is in agreement with it, as far as, you know, just I personally, if I was Alicia Keys, no, I would not do that. I would not disrespect.
So you don't think she disrespected Swizz?
Nah, it's gonna be looked as a form of disrespect. Let me not, don't misconstrue my word. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be looked at that way. But again, that's why I said it's for entertainment purposes.
So what do you think about his response?
Whose?
What was his response?
What was his response?
I didn't see
Yeah,
his
he
response.
responded. He's like, we don't hate over it. He's like, that's bullshit energy. He's like,
See?
he's like, you should have been focused on her dress all over
On
that
her
stadium.
dress was
on the stadium. He's like, we don't hate over here.
I think that.
Yo,
I
she
think that.
bodied her hair.
And then he plugged his new project. at
That's
the
what
end of
I'm
the
I
day.
saying.
think that says
though.
everything though.
That-
Like
that
you know,
says
like
exactly.
you can paint the narrative however you want it to be, but like yo, the response should be enough.
I'm
But
saying-
like,
And it was right
And I
away.
said it,
it's
didn't
not.
I?
Yeah, of
I
course.
said it last night. I was like, watch the
You
media
did say it.
tomorrow.
You did
Well, that's why he got ahead of it. He was like, nah, we ain't doing that shit over here. He's like,
I haven't,
he's like the two
It don't
legends,
exist.
like
But
doing
that's
their
also
thing.
why,
and-
like, when you said I got the whole pass as a joke, like,
Yeah.
I just was like, yo, I gotta be like kind of like
100%.
real clear about who I am,
Yeah.
because I am, like. Sometimes I could be taking like, yo, you're taking it too serious. Let's joke a little bit, but like, yo, I'm on real serious time right now.
Yeah, he really
like
is.
I
Yeah.
really am. So I really gotta walk back a lot of narrative, because 20 years of being a mess and menace
True.
creates a certain image, and I have to own that. But I also have to in real time, like when it becomes the other thing, I gotta be like, yo, nah, but you know, that ain't
I agree
that
to
ain't
the
the
same-
time we
same
on.
boat.
I was a little shocked on that song Pop Culture.
Yeah.
The feature on that.
Yep.
He was
how wild he was getting.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yo,
this is not a Rex
that's what I
album.
said. No, it's fake. That's why I said it's entertaining.
What did I just say? Like, yo, like I just had a conversation with my man Sonic yesterday, who used the B word, like on the record.
I told you he doesn't swear in his music
Yeah.
anymore. I'm like, he doesn't swear in his music
He
anymore.
said-
He's like, yeah, he does. I'm like,
I
no,
do.
he
No,
doesn't.
I have a couple times.
I
Only a
couldn't-
couple
I couldn't
times.
hear it.
No,
I was looking for it.
I don't swear like that. I
Method
don't.
No, I
Method
said
Man
I
I
know
don't
he
swear.
didn't used to,
Well,
but I mean he used to, but I don't know if he swears
you know,
anymore.
you know, Method Man doesn't curse in his.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Hello.
He said
that.
he
You
said 'cause
just
his kids.
cussed on.
He
You
was,
just cussed on principal
That's
level.
what I said.
To bring that back to,
I said a few times.
To Usher, I was wondering, he just dropped the album after I never got to listen to it, but also I seen that he got his first diamond single, like after the Super Bowl, he got his Usher, like
I
from.
said, woo.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I haven't
Yo,
listened
give
to
him
the new
props.
album yet, but I noticed a lot of like the Super Bowl performers, they'll have like an album rollout with the Super
They know
Bowl,
what they're
which
doing.
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
is-
yeah. I
what
mean, you
mean?
can't get
That
that
science
kind
is
of.
dope.
They learned
That's
from
like
a living
300
color.
million
Hello.
people watching that
Um,
shit, man.
Are you guys
Like,
Swifties, by the way? Are these
Who?
Swifties?
You mean
Taylor
the
Swift?
thing you swift with?
Not Swiffer. That's that clip right there. No, Taylor Swift fans. They're called Swifties.
I got nothing against her. I think what she does is phenomenal.
But you're not.
I
a
don't
Swiftie.
know. I don't
No,
know her.
I don't know her
know
music.
He was
You're
trying to-
clearly not Swifties.
No,
I don't
no,
even
no,
know
no.
her music, so I can't really say
I
it.
can't
Like,
say
I mean,
yeah. Like I don't know one or two of her songs, and I'm like, okay, I like what she does because what she does is literally like gives you that, you know, let me desensitize.
I
I
don't
just
know
don't
that.
know her music.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not saying,
but I
I'm
don't-
not saying I don't like her music because I don't know her music. Like if I might like it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh,
I just
yeah.
never like it. Never been on my
You're not
radar.
gonna see that on my playlist.
I just
You
had to
won't-
check. Maybe it would be on your playlist. I don't know.
I
I was gonna
promise.
say,
You see
speaking
my
of Taylor
playlist.
Swift, I didn't watch the full game after halftime, but I guess to bring it like full circle, kind of, Ye, I guess, had a commercial during the Super Bowl, which is kind of funny that Taylor Swift's on Super Bowl. He has a commercial.
He did.
But his commercial, it was literally like a cell phone clip, like, and it's just him, like, almost making like a little, like 2-second clip, and he's like, yeah, we spent the whole budget on the slot, so we didn't really do the commercial. He's like, Yeezy.com, I got shoes. And I
Oh,
guess,
the $20.
but
I
I've
got apparel
seen that
for
he made
$20.
$19 million yesterday alone off,
Damn.
and he
He's a
also
smart
dropped the
man.
album
Very
recently,
smart businessman.
which is #1 in like 80 countries or something. So I don't know if any of you guys heard any of that project at all.
No, I haven't heard any of that.
I haven't heard Ye.
I-
I haven't heard Ye since
So he has a whole new
a
album?
long
It's
time.
Vultures 1. I guess it's gonna be like a series, but it's with Ty Dolla $ign. We spoke about it.
Yeah,
a
we
little
spoke
bit.
about. I thought it was a
So
song
it actually
though.
dropped. Well,
It's a whole
Vultures
album?
was a song. Yeah, the album dropped. I actually
Okay. That
was
checked
the
it out
title
last
track.
night.
All right.
He was rapping pretty good on it, and then to even bring it even like more to it, I guess like Quentin Miller has been revealed as like a ghostwriter for like some of it, and it was like he was giving props to Ye, like the album that changed my life or something, which I just thought it was weird because you know the whole Kanye
I hope
Drake
that dude finally gets
controversy,
paid. That
and like
dude
now you're
finally
using the
gets-
same ghostwriter. I don't even know, like it's just that's a whole lot to it. Like I don't know how I feel about that necessarily, but I think everyone knows Ye is kind of
Yeah,
like
they
on
both
some
use
Dre
ghost-
stuff
yeah, they
where
both
he
do
like
that.
openly. use.
Yeah,
the
they
ghostwriters.
openly use that shit.
Yeah.
I think Kanye's more like an ensemble of like shit. Anyways, like he's like a 30-person orchestra of like this
He's
whole
another one
He's
that's
a
I don't
Right.
think there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with
Head
having
into this.
ghostwriters though. Like I don't see
Pop stars do.
see what is like I think hip hop is bent out of shape.
Would you
in
have
so
one, though?
many ways. Would I have a
wouldn't.
Yeah.
ghostwriter?
Question.
I'm not
Why-
a full
and that-
lyric. Why would I have it if I
He
don't need
doesn't-
it? Like, but like I'm saying, if somebody writes a hook for
absolutely
me,
does not.
no. But if somebody writes a hook for me and they write some
Yeah.
profound stuff, I can use my voice that's good to
Yeah.
convey something that represents what I am about. Like, absolutely, I'll let somebody write that.
I think it goes.
I don't have
where-
any ghostwriters, but yo,
Yeah.
I would.
It's with the credit. I think that's where the problem comes in.
I'll give the
is when
person
people-
credit. I'll be
Yeah.
like, yo, this person is a profound lyricist, and I think I can display what that person is saying in that record because it kind of like fits into the mode of who I am.
But you would preface it with that.
I'm
You
actually-
wouldn't be like, "This is my shit I wrote." You would preface it with, and that's a dope.
Absolutely.
That's a dope
You know what-
thing, like a vehicle to do that.
Well,
It's pretty
Since
dope.
it's publicly known, though, like now that I'm thinking about it, it's like it's not really a ghostwriter anymore. It's like a writer because he's
Yeah, yeah.
publicly acknowledged.
Yeah.
And Dre also
Exactly.
used writers like Jay-Z wrote Still Dre.
They don't even.
Or, like-
But Dre
But
and them
everybody
both-
knew that was Dre. That was Jay.
Jay-
No, that's
Like,
what I'm
you
saying.
could
But
tell-
it's like
No, I'm
it's not even
disagreeing with you.
ghostwriters at that point.
But even like them, like Dre doesn't even write all that music. Like that's like they're an ensemble like cast of people now. It's
Yeah.
like it's like not even like I assume Kanye doesn't go in and play all these 20 instruments. He has 20 different musicians there, and he's kind of directing people
Yeah.
He's a
what to do.
composer.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's what I'm
He's a
saying. So it's
composer.
like, so when you have
He's
a
so
writer,
busy.
That's producing.
So when you have a
Absolutely
writer
producing.
at that level, though, is what I'm saying. Because it's against like Nas having a writer, or like a J or an M having a
Yeah.
writer, as opposed to someone who's making. He's like, I'm not a fucking rapper. I'm making a production. Like, you know what I mean?
I
So
don't even,
Exactly.
I don't think it would be like well, if they like say like M or J, if they had a project and they were like this person wrote this and they're like kind of bringing it to a certain
Yeah.
level, like I don't see that being a problem because I know like M has also done like Master Ace covers and remixes and stuff, so it's like I feel like if they're open about like not that they would use ghostwriters, well writers or whatever, but it's like Dre and Ye, they're both public about it, so it's kind of like at that level, like you said, they're like an ensemble bringing like a whole experience. So I don't really mind it in that sense. Like,
Rex, you're like overly transparent with who's producing, who's rapping with. Like you shout out the producers. You
Yeah,
have
he
it like
does.
you end sharing like the title of the album with some producers
He's
I've never
big
even
on
heard of,
giving
and I'm like,
credits.
damn, Rex is a legend. How did they get to work with him for a full
I mean,
EP?
but that's the thing about it. Like, when you look at yourself like that, like, I don't see that. Like, I think you shouldn't be carrying the weight of that, and like the world should carry that. And if somebody's art is beautiful, like it really is, like Samir, like I think. First and foremost, I recorded that entire project with Samir in Milan.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
that dude
Natural.
is incredibly gifted. You know what I'm saying? I sat and I slept at his home.
The production was
He
fire.
opened his home to me. I stayed at his house. He brought me to restaurants. He made sure that I was taken care of in Milan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
was
That's
very
naturally what
authentic.
hip hop is. Like, you know, wherever you going, like when I was in Finland and I'm with my homies in Finland, like in Turku, like many people will never see that, but they get a piece of that, like because of my people in MC Jalapeno is in Turku. He is a gateway for me to do things that I never even experienced, and that's really hip hop, like expanding the culture. I think like Samir deserves to be on the cover of that project because he put the same kind of effort I did. It ain't got nothing to do with like who I am as an artist or who you are as an artist. It has to do with what kind of work did we put in together.
God,
like
yeah.
none of that other stuff matters.
No, I
And,
love that.
I
That's
think,
awesome.
but
I like that practice,
I also think that the streaming works for itself. Like, yo, I'm focused on legacy. Like 10 years removed from my children's children. Like, I'm thinking about what's happening then, and when people look at things, they're not gonna know Kanye from Samir in the same way that like there's a lot of things that get uncovered and unearthed in many ways. They're obviously gonna know Kanye a certain way, but I think there's also this like missing piece that people find, like a gem in the concrete that's like a Samir that like it's like becomes something huge, you know, like because they're like, yo, art is art. in a different period of time, like certain
Make
things.
art great again.
And is he younger than you? You say I'm
Yeah,
young
he's much
king.
younger than me. Yeah, he's much younger than
we
me.
keep saying make art great again. How do you make art great again?
You just really you take out this other stuff, the facade of what's real, like the systemized way of dealing with things.
Of thinking
That's everything.
lean is the way of thinking, all the extra chains and thinking the
As you-
cars
as you're wearing
as
it,
I'm wearing it, but it is a fashion though. Come on, look at Rakim. You have KRS.
Well, this is all in good fun too.
You
I
know?
feel like the landscape is changing a little bit. I do like that he puts the producers' names like up on the front, and like nowadays I feel like producers and even like videographers and stuff are almost becoming like their own artists and like curators and like getting their just due. You know what I mean? So
Working
I
with
like that
Hush,
practice.
if I work with Hush, I become flyer. You know what I'm saying? As an artist. You know what I'm saying? A lot of rappers, they negate that. Like when you get older, you don't want to listen to the youth. But the youth got more game than you about a lot of the game. You know what I'm saying? So like when you don't listen, that's you doing yourself a disservice.
They're certainly the ear to the street.
I was just talking about this. Like,
Yeah.
the biggest thing to me is like to listen to the youth. Like always. Like you should like my children, they teach me every single day about who I need to be. Like about what's gonna work for me and what's not gonna work. Like, you bent out of shape with this whole thing about like, you're a legend. Like people talk to me, you're a legend. And it's like, I appreciate that, but that ain't even me. That ain't my gift. That's like what's been used. I've been used for. But like, the real impact is what we do together. Like, what are we really making? Like, if we're doing this thing that like stands the test of time, that's what really matters.
Building bridges.
Bro, I don't care like what a person's name is. I don't care about none of that. I'd rather just do the work.
Yeah.
That's a good segue into probably the final topic I want to speak about. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Aiden Ross and Kai Cenat. So they're like popping streamers anyway. So Joe Budden and Aiden Ross and Kai Cenat, there actually is a beef going on between them because
of streaming.
No,
Joe
because
Budden?
Joe Budden.
That's nothing new.
I know.
During the Grammys,
that dude's forever beefing
he
with
was
somebody.
coming at like Travis Scott, and like there was like a little controversy
And
because
Man
Kai
50.
Cenat and Aiden Ross were
Yeah,
like
for
they
real.
weren't
hate
familiar with
everybody.
Killer Mike. And they were upset that Travis Scott like didn't win or whatever. And Joe Budden is like on his podcast, he's like, these streamers don't know what they talk about. They need to sit down. Like, this is like some grown folk shit, you know what I mean? So then Kai Cenat and Aiden Ross responded to Joe Budden. There's like actually like an ongoing like feud going on. So like Joe Budden is basically talking about like these people like Aiden Ross and Kai Cenat are part of the culture through technology, but he's like, he's not part of the same hip hop that I'm from. Like, there's no world that Aiden Ross should be talking to me about this. Like, just because you're popping off the streaming thing. But like, it's kind of like I see like both ways. Like, I understand like the young dudes are like standing up for themselves, but it's just kind of like odd to see them at bump heads a little bit.
So there used to be this thing in hip hop. It was like there was a point of entry and shit. Like there was actually like you had to have
to
money
earn
to
it.
actually
Yeah.
go to a studio. You had to actually be in an urban area. You had to actually, there was all these things that you had to
invest.
do. You had to invest in yourself, and you couldn't you had to be original back then as well to even get past step one. And now with technology, there are a bunch of people that not only like they are welcome to come, but like they're scared to come, or they're just there and they kind of look from a distance. Like,
I will say that Kai Cenat and Aiden Ross, they're not actually like musicians at all, but they have huge platforms. So a lot of rappers go on their platforms, like Nicki Minaj, Offset, all these people.
I think what Joe's talking about though was more like back when I had to go to get on the radio. I had to go to the radio. You know what I mean? I couldn't have just sent an email. I couldn't. Like, I never
Right,
met
you
this
just
dude.
couldn't
I had to go
turn
meet
your
this
your
man.
phone on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I had to go meet Christopher Rowan for him to write about me in the paper.
Yeah.
I had to find him and meet him. Like, you had to
Yeah.
be in play. You had to be in
You
the
had to be
tunnel.
in the network,
You had to
yeah.
be in. You had to be at the Middle East when that was going on. Now you can have a whole career and never step
You
foot
can
outside.
literally
Kinda
phone it
crazy,
in.
yeah.
But what's
actually-
wrong with both though?
Nothing.
But that's
nothing.
what he was saying though. You gotta learn from the youth. You gotta be a part of them. I think between people like Joe Budden who aren't so accepting of the new age wave, we get it. Being coming from the era of like literally when it first started. I'm an 80s baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me too.
So at the end of the day, it's like we get it, but and Busta Rhymes said this too. Who are we if we don't open up the gateways and show them the way. If not, they're going to put up this facade. You're going to feel like you know the history, like you know the knowledge. Like, no, you don't. Like, you wasn't there. You haven't seen or actually heard the full documentary of how. And that's why I'm happy that all these documentaries of hip hop is populating, and it's the truth about
There's
it.
a reason why you're running. People had to crawl and walk all
Exactly.
that before you could
That's
run.
kind of what Joe Budden was like.
That's cool.
Getting at a little bit, but it is kind of crazy to see the landscape changing because the kid Casanat, he's 22. He actually just signed a deal with Nike. He's the first streamer to
shit.
get like a Nike deal, and like these dudes are really like.
But see how that's a
big
big
on the
deal to you?
platform.
You hear what he's saying? Streamer. He's a streamer. What the fuck is a streamer?
Well, he's like
But
a
the thing
music.
is-
You know what I'm
he's
saying?
like
But
a
I get it.
platform,
But
like
I
music
get it. No,
reviewer.
I
Yeah.
promise you. I
Yeah.
get what's a streamer. But to somebody that's like coming from how hard we worked.
Yeah, like you said.
Yeah,
you
but
walk so they
two things
run.
can work. Two things can work at the same time, though. Like, that's just the reality, and everyone's saying that. But the thing is, it's the truth, and we have to
course.
actually live in that truth.
Live in that truth.
The
Exactly.
reality of
But I just
what
had
Joe
to say it
Budden's
like that.
saying, what Joe Budden's saying is true. But like what the young king, I'm sorry, what's his
Aiden
name?
Ross and Kai Sanat are the
Aiden
two.
Ross,
Yeah, yeah.
and what's the other one?
Kai Sanat.
Kai Sanat.
He's the one who signed with Nike.
So them, they are showing you the blueprint. The way LaRussell's showing you the blueprint. The
Yeah.
way other
Right.
individuals are showing you the
Jid.
blueprint. And if you want to pay attention to them, but Jid ain't like, yo, LaRussell is an independent like
True,
mogul,
true, true,
like
true.
like
True,
a
true.
Shout out.
gold
Yeah, yeah.
legend in like doing it for self.
Doing
The
it for selves,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
It's
The
different.
DIY,
Yeah.
he's killing it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I watch
Agreed.
him and I'm like, yo, everything he like, I'll hang on to every word he's saying. Like, yo, this man is like doing it. If you want to follow a blueprint, that's Joe Budden got a blueprint.
Yeah.
And his blueprint, you gotta listen to Joe Budden because Joe Budden got a blueprint that's a winning.
You might get a black
narrative.
eye
You
from
know-
one
you know
of the
what's-
members
But
of
he has a
Wu-Tang,
winning.
but yeah.
You had a moment that was close to that very statement right there. You speak that into existence.
Give it. Come on, give
I ain't
it.
gonna talk about like.
Wait, no, I
we wanna
want to
You
know.
know the shit.
Wait, I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
I remember a famous rapper. I'm not gonna say no famous
you can.
rappers.
Yeah, you can.
You know the person.
Who was it? R.A. the Rugged Man?
Dude,
I know
Was
the-
it?
I know-
That wanted to
I-
punch me in the face?
I know the person he's talking about. Come
You
on,
know what
tell
I'm
it.
talking about.
There's a
Nah,
couple
yeah.
people-
I know it's Bedlam told me.
Maybe
That's why.
names
Oh.
remain anonymous. You know exactly. Yeah.
Mano. Oh, okay.
You remember that
Yeah, I
situation.
remember that.
Hush. Tell us, Hush, what you asked Mano.
That was when High Hater was big, and I mentioned that maybe it was like a nursery rhyme, and this dude threatened to shoot up undergroundhiphop.com.
Oh wow.
If
You
he didn't
also-
destroy
yeah,
the tapes.
You be
wasn't
rubbing a lot of these
no.
rappers
It was
wrong.
something else too, because Bedlam told me you came in, you were dressed a certain way or something. You weren't like you were asking gangsta motherfuckers like non-gangsta motherfucking questions, and they would not have.
You was on your
there.
man. Listen, you really had this like noir aesthetic that was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that was
Wait,
not.
wait.
You was doing it with someone like
was doing
Yeah.
the
you weren't
most.
doing it.
The
You
wrong.
weren't-
Doing the most?
No, you
Yeah.
weren't doing it with Sean Price, who like can get the joke and be kind of in a certain
Right.
bag, and then like somebody who built themselves on their credibility in the streets and a
Yeah.
certain kind of fabric. You got to be careful when you toe that line because there's certain individuals who that's their bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they exist. And when you try that, you know that it could get really bad for you really quickly.
Yeah.
So I mean, you were walking that line. The same time I was doing that kind of same kind of stuff, but I wasn't doing it like with,
Tomato.
and that's the reason why I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
it's like, yo. Your
gotta
truth is
read the
telling
room.
and my truth is telling too, because like I was definitely not doing that to Big Shug.
Yeah.
Big Shug is my man's, but
Definitely
like
don't
I
wanna do
wasn't
that
going to
to
Big
Shug.
Shugs and being like, yo, like
Even though
trying
Big Shug is probably one of the
he's a
funniest
teddy bear. He's a
motherfuckers.
teddy bear, but
But
he's
you know
also
what?
he's also
He
Big
did
Shug.
it.
He's Big
Yeah,
Shug.
yeah.
I like
For a
to
reason.
see him
That's my
Easy
guy, like,
Money
yeah,
and
big up to
Ed
Big
OG
Shug.
go at it like, yo, like,
Yeah.
know who you talking to. And
Yeah.
I have videos of them being
Oh, of
like,
course, of
you
course.
know who I am?
Well,
you know?
well, really, Rex. I mean, I've known him for over 20 years, but I had to walk on eggshells at
You know, I
times.
was a wild dude. I was a wild dude for a very long
That's the videos
time.
that I have. I'm like, yo, are they really gonna beef?
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
It was wild, but it's all fun, you know. Again, memoirs, moments to talk about.
Yeah.
Facts.
No, it's great to see that everyone's
So
like,
Lotto or
healthy.
Sexy Red?
Who?
Lotto or Sexy Red? Who
I
do you
know
got?
who Sexy Red is. I don't know who Lotto
Megan Thee
is.
Stallion or Nicki Minaj? Who do you got in this beef?
Bars, likewise. I mean, I haven't heard any of the thing, and I don't
I
like
got to
again
hear
the
it.
battle rap. And you said Megan.
I got to hear
Thee Stallion
Megan
bodied her, but
ate
like
her alive.
I ate her alive. Okay.
Nicki
A
got
lot of
some
question
bars.
for
I don't
you.
know
But
about
that's what
Megan.
shocked me.
Nicki got bars.
Oh,
bro.
she
That's
definitely
what
has
shocked
bars.
me.
So speaking about how Jermaine Dupri was at the Super Bowl yesterday, and we all thought he was looking like CeeLo, but Lotto, did you know that before Lotto blew up, when she was younger, she was on this TV show. She won
Oh, yeah,
a
the
TV
Jermaine
show
Dupri
that
show.
Jermaine Dupri. Oh,
Yeah.
she knows. Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you know that?
No, I did not know that.
I did.
So Lotto though, like she comes from a school of like she's been performing.
Her
She's been going
and
hard
Little
since a young
Peaches.
child.
You
Like
ever
she's
heard of
like to me,
Peaches?
I do not
she's
know
like
a
an
lotto
MC.
about Lotto.
She's like a real, like I
that's
give her
journalism
credit,
right there.
like she's mainstream, but she's like, to me, she gives off like real MC vibes, and she can like sing a little bit, and like definitely a entertainer for
She's
sure.
definitely an entertainer, but
Yeah.
she's also an influencer, and being a individual in the entertainment industry, like you an influencer, my G, and you influencing little girls to be and grown ass women to be self-conscious.
We gotta be very conscious of demon time. Like, you know,
That's
like
actual demon time.
Before we go, favorite Rex line.
Ooh,
my favorite Rex.
What's your favorite bar?
Oh,
he's never been asked that. That's a good question.
that's better than like yo. The whole everything is always the primo question.
Nah, man. Like,
Yeah,
what's
That's
like,
a
nah,
great
that's very.
question.
I don't.
He
I don't really know. Like,
what's some like?
I got a lot
so
of
like
favorites.
there's always like one bars that like people have that like you just kind of stick out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm about to have no feeling. Shit is deep. There's always just like just little lines in hip hop that stick out. That like
I mean, my
Does he
biggest
have one for you?
My
I'm
biggest
sorry.
thing, no, real talk. Let me say is like you know with jump shots like Bad Boy Piston '89. I was trying to be like number 11 shorty with the dimes. Like that's a telling part of who I am. Like I think that's very like
walk us through.
you know, I didn't grow up a Celtics fan. I grew up a Detroit Pistons fan. I loved Isaiah Thomas growing up. My oldest son, his name is Isaiah Christie. Like because of like my grandfather, but more like my nana and grandpa will always say like, you know, he named after his grandfather, and it's true, but he was really named after Isaiah Thomas. Like I call him Zeke. He was absolutely named after Isaiah Thomas. I adored Isaiah Thomas growing up. All
Yeah,
my
he
basketball
did.
cards were like Isaiah Thomas because he was the smallest and he was the illest. Like to me, like you couldn't tell me nothing about Magic and
He's
Bird
very
and everybody
confident,
else
yeah.
without like mentioning Isaiah Thomas, who didn't really get his just due for how incredible he was during an era like that.
To bring it all the way back to the beginning, when you first said 33, I assumed there was a Larry Bird reference in there being from Boston and all. That's why
No.
that's why I thought you were going to go
No.
originally, the 33
No.
thing. I
No.
figured it was a tie in there somewhere.
No, honestly, like yo, it's not that.
Oh no, I got it. It's
not that
righteousness. I got
Yeah, no, I'm
mastery.
not gonna bring it back to
I was it.
righteousness.
That was it. That
I
was it.
promise you, I'm not gonna bring it back to righteousness. What I really was saying is that it's not that.
This one's still working.
They're both working, but that's just going
All
off.
right.
Is about
If
to
you guys
go
want to
by.
just stay in here, where they can find everybody, like where we can get your albums, maybe where you're going to be doing shows, obviously social media, things of that nature.
Where the vinyl will be released.
So everything that you want to like really tap into and get with me is going to be at you can go to my link tree / I am REKS and find the Bandcamp, find the DPSs and everything that I'm working with right now. Pretty soon we're going to have some surprises that tap in to the website, which will be iamrex.com, like coming very soon. Within the next month we'll have iamrex.com up, and you'll be able to do like what I really want to do is like the Alchemist drop shipment type of vibe. So we'll have that up like within the month. So just go to iamrex linktree / iamrex.
Absolutely.
How about you? Want to add anything to it? We can find you.
I'm just Queen _ Philosophical. I'm still like I'm a layman to social media. I have a Facebook still, but it goes by my government. You know, just I'm a huge fan of my husband, and I'm just here to support him. So if what I do right now, it is more of holistic. So right now I'm not out yet, but I am working with him as far as his music, and he'll always at me. Video has been my new passion.
Awesome.
That's dope.
That's
video.
that's a
Steven
from someone who
Spielberg.
had that passion. It's tough.
Listen, no offense to individuals who look what I'm surrounded by, but again, I'm a visualizer, so I see and I see. I'm like, okay, they do this, do that, okay, and then I'm like, why don't I put that effort in it? Because I've done little, promos for whether it's family, these little videos, and then when one day he was just like talking about, oh my God, what am I gonna do for AI? And I'm like, ooh, check this app I downloaded.
Let me try this. Yeah, like and it was dope.
And
like it was dope to see.
When he co-signed, I'm like, I'm still in shock. I'm absolutely still. I'm still. I promise you, this is genuine. I'm still in shock. I was like, you really okay? Yeah. With all these producers that are actually doing this, that you can see their AI work, and I'm like, and I'm so brand new to this. I'm like, you know what? Again, goes back to, the young versus old. Now I'm young, even though I am the age that I am. Right?
You got to adapt.
You got to
That's
adapt.
dope, man. It's dope. It's good to see you guys working together. Obviously, the energy it's clear as day. Anyone sitting that has a conversation with either one of you.
That's just a great conversation.
It's
you
pretty
guys
obvious.
Are great conversation.
Yeah,
It's very interesting.
It's been cool.
A lot of things. I'll have to go back to the interview and look up the title of this, and it's going to send me down this wormhole.
But it's a good wormhole.
Yeah.
It's a good wormhole.
So,
I promise.
Van, what do you want to tell these guys right here?
That it's the Big Dookie Chain, and it was a pleasure having you both.
Thank you for having us. man.
Absolutely.
This is
Honored to have you
awesome.
guys.
Finally to
There we go.
finally
Yeah, it's
to
about
meet.
20 years I've known you
right?
on.
20 years on social media, right?
about that, yeah.
She's giving you much props.
Appreciate
I
it.
promise.
Thank you.
Yes, like what
Appreciate
you
it.
do for mental health. People need to hear what you do, man. It's serious.
It's we'll talk about it after this, but it's all being the example, accountability, getting out of it, and then being the beacon.
You show
what I mean?
that. You
I try.
absolutely no.
I
You
appreciate it.
don't
Thank
say
you.
try.
It ain't about
You
me.
do.
It ain't about me. It's about you guys.
It is about us. Mirror in the mirror.
Fcurtschilling. Marty Forever. Sense Lives. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell. All that shit. You already
Yes,
know the deal.
do
All right, thanks,
that.
guys.